Let's get nasty on a Friday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh. I got a guy, Bradford Bruns, back in the studios. That's because we are live at Centene Community Ice Center, and it's a fun day for us. We've been out here a couple of times when this event has been going on. But Marsh, I know that this is also an event that you appreciate a lot, and it's the Blues Warrior.
Yeah, the Warriors All-Stars. You have the Blues alumni, too. I think Reed Lowe's going to join the show in the 5 o'clock hour, so we'll see when he'll come on, but I'm excited for tonight. It should be a great event.
Carey, are you familiar with Reed? Have you done some shows with Reed?
Yeah, I've worked with Reed in the past.
I love Reed.
Reed is awesome. He's a good guy, and I like guys that punch people, so,
oh, yeah.
that kind of guy.
Yeah, he'll punch you right in the mouth. He's got no problem doing that.
Love it, yeah.
Reed is also a wine connoisseur.
Oh, we should have had him on when they were asking what you pair with your beverages, because
he would do it, yeah.
I had no answers for that one.
Quick story. I think I've shared this before, but quick story on Reed Lowe. But this was probably, 7 or 8 years ago now. And Reed and I had been doing some fill-in shows together. And I'm like, hey, Reed, can I pick you? He wanted to learn more about, like football. Yeah. And I wanted to learn more about hockey. I'm like, dude, let's get together and watch a game, right? Okay. Like, I think the NHL playoffs were going on at the time. I'm like, hey, let's get together. Let's talk a little hockey. You could show me your hockey, all right, how you do things. And then maybe we'll get into some football. He's like, all right, cool, let's do it. So he invited me over to his house. This dude had a wine collection, like, in his almost like there was a washer and dryer, and then his wine collection was just all in the same spot. Okay. I don't know if I learned much hockey that night. I did get absolutely ripped, though.
Yeah, you were good.
That hit me. That hit me. I don't think we ate anything. I just think we got just completely ham sauced. And I could say now that I got pretty ripped on wine with Reed Lowe.
Nice.
While watching some hockey.
So last year, I know Mardi Gras is coming up, and last year I was able to be like the host of the Blues alumni tent, and so Reed was there, and I got to hang out with him and drink some beers and have a good time, and he is hilarious. That whole alumni group has so many stories, so to hear those stories is one thing, but to see those guys come together on the ice is quite fun.
Quite a different story. All right, so we've got a great show today. We're looking forward to it. Super Bowl Sunday, of course, on Sunday. We're going to be doing some prop predictions. We'll do some game predictions, of course. We'll break into, like, the legacy conversation. Mm-hmm. It's not just whose legacy is on the line, but what the certain level of legacy. I mean, Mahomes winning another Super Bowl, Brock Purdy potentially winning his first, Kyle Shanahan, Andy Reid. So we'll kind of dive into that conversation. We've got a lot of Cardinals stuff, too. There was a lot of great stuff at The Athletic, I felt, on the Cardinals, including the biggest spring training questions. And this was an exercise done by Katie Wu, who you can hear a lot on BK and Ferrario and The Opening Drive. Katie does a great job covering the Cardinals for The Athletic. And every athletic writer for every MLB team did something similar. What are the biggest spring training questions? And the first one, not surprising, by Katie was, will the new additions to the starting rotation be enough? So I read through that, but the second one actually caught my attention the most.
Okay.
Because I wasn't thinking that this was a question mark, so I wanted to pose to you guys. The question that Katie wrote about was, can Mason Wynn take over as the starting shortstop? Am I the only one that, and this is no knock on Katie, because, she's diving into a topic that I didn't really think about, but maybe I should have thought more about. I thought Mason Wynn kind of already had the job. It was done.
You and me both. I just felt like it was a done deal, that he's going to be your starting shortstop. You moved Tommy Edman out to center field, and you figured that Brendan Donovan would be.
I don't think Brendan Ryan's coming back.
I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe.
If he does, probably shortstop.
Probably.
They're getting the band back together. I mean,
anybody could be back, right?
Right.
There's a few names we're still waiting on. So I just figured that would be your starting shortstop, whether he hit well or not, because of the defensive possibilities, and knowing that Shift is banned, which I don't know that the Cardinals knew last year.
They did not.
They figured it out along the way that it was a little bit different game than the previous year. And so
got the memo late.
Yeah, they I don't know what they were doing, but they got the memo late. And you get a shortstop that has great range and a great arm. I just assumed that he would be your starting shortstop come day one, and there would be no looking back.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they – now, I think that he'll be the home opener starting shortstop. Like, he'll start the season off, but I wonder if they try and just ease him into the year, maybe give him some off days and allow – now, they have a lot of moving pieces. We know that. So I wonder if they'll do something like that. Well, they'll try and just ease him into that role.
And maybe it's a situation, too, where they want to say, hey, you earn it. Earn it in spring training. Even though everybody knows that he's going to get the starting job, he's still a young player. He got his cup of coffee at the end of last year, but you still say to the young man, go out there and prove that you can do it.
Right. And
you'll be the starting shortstop. But really, with Tommy Edman on the mend from offseason surgery, you don't have another shortstop.
True.
A consistent one. Can Brendan Donovan play shortstop? Yeah, he's not a full-time shortstop.
Correct.
Can certain guys fill in a pinch? Yeah, you got some utility guys. But
you got a lot of those guys.
Ultimately, it's going to be Mason Wynn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'll see a ton of Tommy Edman even when he is healthy at shortstop. You could, and then you're going to get Brendan Donovan mixed in because he's going to be your super utility. So then the next question becomes with Mason Wynn is how does he keep that spot? And for me, your strength right now is defense for him. Go out, play elite defense. We understand you're a young player. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make inexperienced mistakes, right? But try to cut those down throughout the course of the year. But play elite defense, hit ninth, and just get comfortable with big league pitching.
It reminds me of Harrison Bader in his role when he came up.
Sure.
He wasn't a world beater at the plate, but he played great defense, and he was your starting center fielder.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you accept the fact that he may not hit well, as you said, put him in the 9 hole, but the defense should make more up for enough for what he's not doing at the plate. Just being able to, as I said, cover ground, have the strong arm in the hole, and make big plays, and really, I think the plan for Major League Baseball was to shift towards more athleticism, with banning the shift, and making the bases bigger. You're going to hopefully have more speed on the base pass. I think that was the goal of Major League Baseball. So if you got a guy that's that athletic and can do those things, he definitely should be playing every day.
So let's circle back to Katie Woo's top question. Again, this is in regards to the biggest spring training questions written by Katie Woo at The Athletic. Will the new additions to the starting rotation be enough? I think her last sentence in this is the one that is most important. She said the Cardinals believe they have shored up enough innings to cover them through games, a major problem for the club last year. But there's a difference between covered innings and innings of quality, and the latter will be the difference maker in the team's success. Katie absolutely nailed it. She's right on this. You can go out and have this goal of acquiring pitchers that can pitch deeper into games. Right. Fantastic. You knew that was an issue last year for you. Even in a game where most starters are only going 5 or 6, you knew that was a significant enough issue that you needed to address that in the offseason. You bring in Lance Lynn, you bring in Kyle Gibson, you bring in Sonny Gray. Excellent. But she's right. It's not just covering innings, it's getting quality innings out of your starters most times. And will they get quality innings? That's a whole other story. As Mark smirks.
What's the smirk for?
I mean, that's a huge question, right? Like, that's the biggest question of the offseason, in my opinion. You bring in these guys to get innings, but okay, how does that translate to wins? You give up 4 or 5 runs. Let's just keep them out there 7th inning. Oh, great, you still lost.
You ate some innings.
Yeah, you ate innings, but
you didn't burn your bullpen if you do that.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
See? Very fair.
Save them for the next day. You get out there and you earn that money. You did it. Finish it.
That will come into play a little bit.
Like, why not?
Sometimes you just Lance Lynn's a veteran. He knows if he gives up 4 in the first inning, dude, you're gonna have to wear it. Like, you're going to have to pitch deep into games. You got to protect your bullpen in a series like that, in any series.
Yeah, and, I mean, we know how the bullpen was last year, so that's another huge question. I just think with this team, like the whole eat innings thing, it's just like, all right, like, does that really matter though
If you're not good.
If you're if you're not good,
If they're not quality innings,
and if you're getting to the top of the lineup the third time around, like, are you going to keep those guys in? That's the big question, because
question.
last year I don't think they really did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why bring those guys in if you're not going to switch your tune?
In fairness, the starters shouldn't have been left in.
Oh man, they shouldn't have been starting.
More times than not, they should not have been left in.
I
you know.
There was some struggles last year. It was some rough games. Like we watched some really bad baseball.
We did
often last year, and it started with the starters. I mean, if you're down 2 or 3 runs before you get to at bat, before you get a chance to bat, then yeah, it's going to be hard. I think that just changes the entire game for you when you're already down. In times, or you get a lead, 1 or 2 run lead, and then it's that 1 or 2 run lead is gone by the time you get to at bat again. So there's a lot of things that this Cardinal team needs to fix for this season, for this upcoming season. I hope that the additions that they made to the pitching staff are good enough, and I hope that the hitters actually hit.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
That's Carey Davis. That's Andrew March. We're live at Sentencing Community Ice Center today. It's the Fast Lane 213. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Boy, the voters screwed over Torrey Holt, and they screwed him over probably for a dumb reason. If you think back to some of the opinions that have been shared about the Rams' greatest show on turf, we'll dive into that next on 101 ESPN.
We want in your head 24 hours a day. The 101 ESPN app in your App Store or Google Play. Blues talk more often. 101 ESPN is live from the Centene Community Ice Center. Brought to you by Bud Light and E&B Granite. Bernie Federko's only choice for granite countertops, cabinets, and flooring.
Live from Centene Community Ice Center, it's a Fast Line on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, and the NFL released its, or I should say the Pro Football Hall of Fame released its class, and Devin Hester is part of it. The rest of the class includes defensive end Dwight Freeney, who played with the Colts and the Falcons for a year. I think he wound up with the Broncos maybe at the end of his career. Andre Johnson, the wide receiver, longtime wide receiver for the Houston Texans. Linebacker Patrick Willis, who probably could have played even longer than he did. Still had himself an amazing career with the San Francisco 49ers. Defensive tackle Steve McMichael, and then defensive end Julius Peppers. You didn't hear the name of Torrey Holtz. Mm-hmm. And if you listen to, I think it was Gil Brandt, who had said at one point, and if it wasn't Gil Brandt, I apologize, I'm pretty sure it was, that said, well, how many members of the greatest show on turf can you have in the Hall of Fame and not have them like kind of take away from each other, which, with all due respect, I don't think that makes a lick of sense.
I agree.
Torrey Holtz is a Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. Marshall Faulk is a Hall of Famer. Isaac Bruce is a Hall of Famer.
They all are.
Orlando Pace is a Hall of Famer. Just because they happen to play on one team, it would be more of it would be more of an indictment on them if they didn't win the Super Bowl and also participate in another one with all of that Hall of Fame talent. It's still Hall of Fame talent, though. All of them should be in.
I agree. I don't know how you decipher, they were too good, so we keep some of the guys out. No, that was part of the reason why they won a championship, and as you said, were able to play in another one. And probably, I think it was the Saints game in 2000 where they lost in New Orleans, but they had a chance to should have probably been to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. Like, that was a really good run for that St. Louis Rams team, and you had Hall of Famers. Torrey Holt is a no-brainer. Isaac Bruce is a no-brainer. Marshall Faulk, no-brainer. Kurt Warner, no-brainer. You had all of the – hell, London Fletcher is also, in my opinion, a no-brainer. But that is the fact that you say, well, it's too many guys on that specific team. We got to pass it around a little bit. I don't necessarily agree with that. With that being said, Patrick Willis may be the only one that I have an issue with because he didn't play as many years. Mm-hmm. And his career was cut short. I don't know if it was necessarily specifically due to injury, but I know he kind of stepped away. And so that was – I knew Julius Peppers, I felt like was a no-brainer. Devin Hester, I think, I actually like it because he's done something that no one else has done in that position ever. So I had no problem with that. Andre Johnson, when you look at the numbers, he has more yards receiving than Torrey Holt does. Mm-hmm. He played some more years, but he does have more yards receiving. So all in all, I didn't have an issue. I just don't – I know Torrey is frustrated because he all of his guys are in and they're waiting on him. And I'm certain at some point he will get in. Yeah. And I know we say that every single year, one day eventually you'll get there. We know you deserve it, but you haven't gotten there yet. But I can't complain with any of the names that were actually picked. Yeah,
I'm not going to nitpick any of the names either. You're right in that Patrick Willis, maybe just from a longevity standpoint, maybe he doesn't get in. But you can't – to me, Devin Hester is absolutely a Hall of Famer. Yes. You have other special teamers in the Hall of Fame. You can't tell me that Devin Hester, who completely flipped the field – all throughout 2000, in his career, yes, but in 2006, the Chicago Bears do not make the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman under center. Right. If that defense and Devin Hester weren't as great as they were. Devin Hester is the best kick returner / punt returner that we have ever seen.
I think the only other name that I would have, because I thought he was a no-brainer first ballot as well, would be Antonio Gates.
Yeah,
I think
it's a good one.
If you swapped out Patrick Willis for Antonio Gates, I would have no issue with this, with this Hall of Fame class. Because Antonio Gates, if I'm not mistaken, should be I know you don't believe in tight ends.
Oh,
but
stop. I believe more in tight ends than you do.
The tight end position, he was not technically a tight end, as you say. But I think I'm sure he's top 5. I think he was top 3 in receiving yards for tight ends in the NFL history. So that name is probably the only one that I would have a gripe with, but I knew Julius Peppers, no brain, first ballot. Dwight Freeney was a freak of nature. To be the size that he was, he did things that nobody else was able to do and play at a pad level, a speed and intensity that was, I think it was shocking for offensive tackles to try to combat with week in and week out. You're used to going against guys that are long arms and strong and powerful and club you and straight arm, long arm you and get around you. This man would not let you put hands on him at all, which is a shock to the system. When you're my first time, Dwight Freeney was there when I was a rookie in Indianapolis, and I tried to block him in practice, and I still don't know how he got past me that fast. He spun, I didn't touch him, and I looked back, and he was patting the quarterback, patting Peyton on the butt, and my running back coach said, "Don't worry about it. He does it to everybody." And I was like, what just happened? Never seen anything that fast. So he was just a freak of nature. And I again, this whole class, I think, well-deserving. Patrick Willis, I can't take it away from him, but just the number of years is probably my only gripe.
But let's go back to Torrey for a second here, okay? So all-time leaders in receiving yards. Of course, you've got Jerry Rice, Larry Fitzgerald, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss, Isaac Bruce, Tony Gonzalez, Tim Brown, Steve Smith Sr., Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Andre Johnson, who just got elected, James Lofton, Chris Carter, Anquan Bolden, Henry Ellard, Julio Jones, and then Torrey Holt.
Yep.
Torrey Holt is 17th in receiving yards. That's just one statistic. It's about the impact that they made in their time. And I don't think you can say that Torrey Holt made less of an impact during his time in the NFL than Andre Johnson did in his.
Yeah, and to what I was saying in terms of Torrey, he only played 11 years and is at 13,382. Andre Johnson, he played 14 years, and he's at 14,185. So he's not that far ahead with 3 more years under his belt in terms of games, which makes a huge difference. And I don't. It's frustrating for me because I know, like I said, Torrey obviously is well deserving of being in the Hall of Fame. He did a fantastic job in his career. Was a critical piece to that run that the St. Louis Rams had. I just don't know if the notion in that room is those guys got too many guys in.
Yeah, that's just.
If that's the answer you're going to go with, then Torrey Holt would be the one that does not get the opportunity to get in just yet because
he's the last one, though? Like, that doesn't.
But when you're looking at Orlando Pace is probably one of one for offensive tackles.
Sure.
Kurt Warner is probably top 10 for quarterbacks. And Marshall Faulk, in my opinion, is top 5 in running backs.
Well, he's one of one. He's one of one.
One of one.
Based on that offense.
Well, based on any offense. He is what we're watching with Christian McCaffrey, a guy that can do, and I think he did more and did it better than Christian McCaffrey. And I love Christian McCaffrey, but Marshall Faulk was the originator. He's the original one to line up in the slot and be the person that you don't know what they're going to do with. So it's frustrating because, again, Torrey Holt has earned the right to be there, has done a great job. All you can say is eventually he will get his opportunity.
Do you think he'll get in next year? Here's some names, though, that are eligible for next year's Hall of Fame. You have Eli Manning, Luke Kuechly. You have Marshall Yanda, Marshawn Lynch, Terrell Suggs, Darren Sproles, Joe Staley, Aqib Talib, Demaryius Thomas, Clay Matthews, Ryan Khalil. Those are some names right there.
A lot of offensive linemen.
You named 3 that I think Eli is probably. I know you're not huge on
first
Eli.
Ballot though.
Terrell Suggs, I think, is first ballot, and it was somebody else. You named.
Suggs, I thought for sure.
Marshawn Lynch.
No. Before him.
What about Joe Staley?
Marshall Yanda.
No.
And then before him.
Kuechly.
Luke Kuechly.
No.
Yeah, Luke Kuechly is a defensive player of the year.
Luke Kuechly was how long did he play?
How long did Patrick Willis play? There's a precedent for it right now.
Yeah, you got me on that. Like Luke Kuechly was a great player. Don't get me wrong, but I just Luke Kuechly had. Yeah, Luke Kuechly's probably a Hall of Famer. He was just so banged up.
He was Defensive Player of the Year. His second or third year in the league. But yeah, he's.
Can I go back to you brought up something about Andre Johnson? And you saw about he played 3 more years than Torrey.
Yep.
I do think this matters though. When you look at it, he had 146 targets, 85 receptions, 936 yards, and 3 touchdowns in his last year with Houston. Okay. His final 2 years though, 503 yards with Indy. 85 yards with Tennessee. He only played 8 games. So I do think that matters.
Yeah.
When you look at he played 3 more years than Torrey. Okay, he had one more impactful year than Torrey.
Yeah.
So I don't envy the Hall of Fame class, or the Hall of Fame voters and all that. I don't envy the position they're in. This is tough, especially when you get to comparing players in different eras. How do you measure this guy to that guy? Do you think about the offenses they played in the time period? I don't envy anybody that's got to do that. That's got to vote on this. But you know what a Hall of Famer looks like, and Torrey Holt's a Hall of Famer.
I agree.
But that's the whole point of the Hall of Fame, though, right? It's not just this guy's in, right?
Right.
There's a process to it,
sure.
and guys pay their dues, and when that moment does come for Torrey Holt, it's gonna feel really good.
Very true.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. What's trending is next.
We've got your chance to win a pair of passes to the 2024 State Farm Missouri Valley Conference men's basketball tournament, hitting the court at Enterprise Center March 7th through March 10th. March begins here with the Arch Madness of the annual MVC tournament, celebrating 30 years at Enterprise Center. All session and single session tickets are on sale now. Get all the details and get entered to win those free tickets for Arch Madness right now, either at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app.
Make everything you do more epic with Spectrum Mobile.
Catch the Balloon Party with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson. Weekdays from 10 to 11 a.m. on 101 ESPN. The fastest hour of sports radio is driven by Munganast and Burkhardt Alton Toyota. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Chiefs and Niners nearing showdown. I'm Bradford Bruns, and this SportsCenter update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. On Sunday at 5:37 p.m., Kansas City and San Francisco clash in Super Bowl 58. You can listen to the broadcast right here on 101 ESPN. Patrick Mahomes and company could capture their third trophy since 2019. The 49ers, meanwhile, last took home football's ultimate prize back in '94. Pucks, the Blues return to action tomorrow against Buffalo. St. Louis owning a 26-21-2 mark to date. Good for fourth in the Central. Its point total of 54 actually matches the number posted by Nashville as well. Tonight, Edmonton visits Anaheim, and the Blackhawks host the Rangers. This SportsCenter update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
We're live from the Sensing Community Ice Center. It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Here is Andrew Marsh with What's Trending.
Anthony, you might know this already, being that you are close with the Kluber family, as two-time AL Cy Young Award winner Corey Kluber has retired, ending a 13-year career.
I saw that. Well, my wife, Kristen, told me this morning because she was talking to Amanda's wife and just kind of congratulating Corey on their retirement and all that. But yeah, how about this? So, three-time All-Star. He was a two-time Cy Young Award winner. 2 times he led the American League in wins. He was the AL ERA leader in 2017. Threw the no-hitter with the Yankees when he pitched 1 year with the Yankees in 2021. Yeah. This is one of the more decorated careers for a guy that was not a top prospect. Mm-hmm. I think he was with the Padres initially, and then was traded to the then Cleveland Indians, and he wound up just becoming an ace. He pitched so well, and he was so reliable that he wound up becoming an ace for Cleveland. He had them one inning away from winning a World Series against the Cubs before, unfortunately, we all know what happened, and then wound up extending his career for a little bit, including throwing a no-hitter. But I think the biggest accomplishment, probably, I would say, I mean, I don't want to speak for him, is the fact that Kristen and I went to his wedding at TDC Sawgrass down in Jacksonville.
I can see how you would think that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But congratulations. I mean, what a career.
I mean, anytime you get to play a professional sport, it is a blessing, a true blessing. You do it for 13 years and leave on your own terms. Anthony, I don't know if you know this. Most of us don't get to leave on our own terms. Most of us are ushered out of the door and say, we appreciate your services. It was fun while it lasted. We'll see you soon. Or not. It doesn't matter.
Sometimes you die on the ice. Sometimes you make that decision having a drink at a bar.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're drunk. You need to go home now. I'm sober. Still, you need to go home now.
It's time to go.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So congratulations to Corey. Just a remarkable career, and now has an opportunity to be retired at 37 years of age.
Nice.
Guys, I found this to be interesting. UCLA coach Chip Kelly is expected to become the next offensive coordinator at Ohio State, sources told ESPN today. What do you guys think about that move?
It makes me wonder, how bad is UCLA to where you want to leave from being the head coach? Because there were rumors that he may be looking for an NFL offensive coordinator job.
Right.
He was ready to get out of UCLA, and that for the next coach that comes in, there has to be a lot of questions as to what is going on, what are the expectations, and how are we going to get this thing corrected? Because if you want to leave the position of head coach for a Power 5 school, a school that is leaving the Pac-12, headed to the Big Ten, all of the things that are going to come with that, and then head to Ohio State or really anywhere else, it seemed like is what he was looking for. That leaves me to ask major questions about what's going on at UCLA.
When was the last time UCLA won big in football?
Oh, man.
To your point.
I don't know.
UCLA has always been a program that has been well respected, but we've never talked about them as a national championship, national championship contender and all. You're right, Carey. There is something about UCLA. You would think they've got the money, obviously the location. You tell me that recruits don't want to go play
they do,
in LA?
Anthony, but they want to go down the street.
You do have to compete with USC, certainly. But again, UCLA, I'm sure UCLA's got plenty of do-re-mi.
Well, I'm looking at these records. Last 10-win season was 10 years ago, 2014 and 2013. They didn't have another one. The last one before that was 05. And then the last one before that was 1998.
Okay, so what I wanted to say, and I didn't want to overreach here, is that nobody's had success at UCLA.
No.
Nobody has won consistently at UCLA.
I don't know why that is, though. Jim Moore had a couple of good years. Surprise, surprise.
That's honestly, I'm pretty shocked.
I said surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Me too. I don't know, man. I don't know how or why. And here's the thing. I've been on UCLA's campus. It is by far one of the most beautiful campuses I have ever seen in my entire life.
Did you get a picture with the big bear?
Oh, no, I did not. I wish I probably should have. But it is. It's one of the most beautiful campuses you could be on. You're in L.A. You know, the weather, you're paying for the weather, clearly, because it's going to be 75 degrees year-round. It's a beautiful spot. And, again, it's a Power 5 school. And you play a national schedule. You're going to be in the Big Ten now. So I don't know. I have no clue why Chip Kelly, who has had success pretty much as people don't like Chip Kelly, he's had success pretty much everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
And for him to say, you know what, the hell with that. I would rather be an assistant coach than be the head coach of UCLA. That's a bit troubling for me.
Yeah.
I had a lot of questions.
There was a lot of stuff. Remember at the end of the year, he had some really good points about the I think it was the transfer portal, or talking about how athletes, how you're paying them, or like the travel requirements.
Yeah, get rid of the NCAA essentially and have their own conferences, like different conferences.
But there was something else. So he spoke freely after UCLA's bowl game, but then there was something else that kind of led everybody to believe that he was on the outs with UCLA. So maybe he knows that the writing's on the wall. Maybe he knows he wouldn't make it throughout the season, and he's bailing. He's going to Ohio State. He knows he's going to have a success at Ohio State, and then he can go from there.
I don't know what his contract says, but I would assume that there's a buyout, or they got to pay you if they fire you. What the?
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know.
Carey, you're looking at me. I'm looking at you. I don't know.
I have no clue. But whoever the next head coach is for UCLA, they should ask some real questions. What? No, if they call me, I'm not going to ask anything. I'm just going to say, where do you want me to sign?
I was about to say, what if it's Carey Davis?
Oh, sign up. Sign me up. Yep, no questions asked here.
You want me to be your DC?
The only question, sure.
Yeah.
We're going to teach them the clear camp philosophy.
No.
And safe. Punt safe.
Punt safe.
Stay the hell away from the ball.
Special teams coordinator can handle that, Carey. I want to blitz on damn near every down.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Cover zero.
Worked for Greg Williams, so it worked for me.
Well, speaking of defense, how about Mike Zimmer and the Cowboys? Mike Zimmer,
I think
defensive coordinator.
I know that he's been out of the league maybe, 1 or 2 years now. I don't know if he's done any consulting, but
it's been 2. Kevin O'Connell's been the head coach for the Vikings for 2 seasons. So.
And Zimmer, I don't think he's been a coordinator anywhere else. Again, maybe he was a defensive consultant somewhere that I don't know. But otherwise, outside of him being out of the league for a couple of years, Mike Zimmer's a really good coach. I thought he did an excellent job in Minnesota. I know how it ended, but his teams were often competitive. His teams often played hard. He's got a really bright, defensive mind. He's got a ton of experience. Dallas could have done a lot worse than Mike Zimmer as this head coach. In fact, they were looking at, and this I was intrigued by this because I just love Rex Ryan, but I don't see how Dallas. I got to know Rex a little bit going back and forth to Bristol. You know when people they are just exactly who they are at all times? That's Rex Ryan.
I think he's a fun guy. I mean, defensive coordinator, you probably are correct. I'm not opposed to this decision for Mike Zimmer. I thought he did a great job. Marcia, you would know. You're a Vikings fan. Were you saddened when they let Mike Zimmer go?
Absolutely not. That guy had no idea how to manage a game.
Oh, Marcia.
No idea how to manage a game. But neither does half the NFL coaches.
Very true. Yeah.
It's not. You're not wrong there.
He speaks the truth. All right, it's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Let's get into some legacy questions next for Super Bowl 58. Mahomes, Purdy, CMC, Kyle Shanahan. We'll get into some other guys. Outside of the obvious, too, when it comes to legacy being on the line, Super Bowl Sunday, who else applies outside of Mahomes, Purdy, CMC, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Shanahan? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
The Blues play on ESPN. Tomorrow, Blues and Sabres. Pre-game at 11, puck drop at noon.
Shoots, he scores!
This is your exclusive home for Blues hockey. 101 ESPN.
Happy Super Bowl to all who celebrate from FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. If you're like me and Anthony and Marsh, Super Bowl Sunday is about scoring the best seat on the couch and grabbing your favorite football snacks and placing some bets. FanDuel has so many ways for you to do this. And to end the season with a W or 2 or 3, Anthony, tell me about a few ways.
Well, I'll tell you what, when it comes to the Super Bowl props, there's no shortage of I mean, Patrick Mahomes might have 50 props for Sunday. Brock Purdy, CMC. I've been kind of touting this one all week. I like the fact that Patrick Mahomes over-under for pass attempts is only, like 38.5. You know Andy Reid's gonna figure out a way to throw the ball consistently, even if he uses Isaiah Pacheco. Right. He knows what he's got in Mahomes, so I like that one. I like CMC to go over his rushing yards as well. How you want to play it, it's up to you. New customers can join today and get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/fast to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/fast to sign up. And you can make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports book partner of the NFL.
21 and older, present in Illinois. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Wall-to-wall Blues coverage is right here. 101 ESPN is live from the Centene Community Ice Center. Brought to you by Bud Light and E&B Granite. Bernie Federko's only choice for granite countertops, cabinets, and flooring.
Live from Centene Community Ice Center, I'm Anthony Stalter alongside Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. Thank you to Bradford Bruns being in the studio today. We're live at Centene Community Ice Center. We will have an opportunity to talk to former Blue Reed Lowe as he gets ready to play the alumni for the alumni. I don't know if actually, is he actually playing? I guess we'll ask him. He played last year, I know, and I think he was already drinking before the game, so Reed was ready to go. That's for sure. But the Warrior Blues, or the St. Louis Warriors, they're going to take on the Blues alumni.
Yeah, you got to get a pregame meal in. Get some liquids in you before the game.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, that helps.
There you go.
Before and after, of course.
Clearly. And during, if you're able to.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's important.
That's right. So it's tonight. It's the Gateway Warrior Classic All-Star Game, refreshed by Bud Light, and they're taking on the Blues alumni. On Sunday, of course, you have the 49ers, you have the Chiefs, and like every Super Bowl, you talk about legacy. So for Patrick Mahomes, I think some of these conversations are easy. The other ones get a little murkier. Mm-hmm. When it comes to an easy conversation, Patrick Mahomes, if he were to win, it would be his third in 4 tries. Really, he's probably, I mean, if he were to retire, he's probably already a Hall of Famer
right now.
But he would be 3 Super Bowls, 4 that he would have appeared in.
Yeah,
we got a long way to go before we're talking about GOAT and all that. But
do we?
Yeah,
do we?
Tom Brady was 6.
7.
7? Because of the Buccaneers one?
Yeah, that was their fault. They should have fixed that. But I am not a person.
Bowls.
I know this is my opinion, okay? I've never looked at Tom Brady as the GOAT. I know that's blasphemous, right? The people are, what do you mean? He got 7 Super Bowls. Yeah, okay. And Bill Russell got 11 championships. Nobody considers him the GOAT. So it's not solely because I consider Michael Jeffrey Jordan, to be the greatest basketball player of all time.
But he also had we're talking about legacy.
When I watch, if you told me to, and I know we're off topic right now, but we'll get back to it. If you told me to pick a quarterback, I only had one quarterback to choose, and my life depended on it, it would not be Tom Brady. It would be Peyton Manning. And therefore, if you're not the person that I would choose for that, then I don't think you're the GOAT. Now, if you ask me which player do I want to take the last shot ever in an NBA game, or even take a free throw, it ain't going to be LeBron James. It's going to be Michael Jordan. And Kobe would be second. So that's my thoughts on it. But back to Patrick. I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
What about Andre Iguodala?
Nah, I don't know what the hell Max Kellerman was talking about. He's crazy.
CD. And look, Peyton Manning, it's not like you're choosing Rex Grossman or something.
Ooh,
you're choosing
twice in 1 week.
Yeah. I think we had 3 references now because we talked about him and with Devin Hester, too.
Yeah, he's trending.
He is trending right now. You chose Peyton Manning, so I get it. But we're talking about what? Winning a Super Bowl and your life is on the line.
Yeah.
You're choosing Peyton Manning over Tom Brady.
Every day of the week.
Who has done it 7 times.
He has football, to me, is the ultimate team sport.
Sure.
Where basketball and baseball are more singularly focused on player specific. If you got a guy, if Barry Bonds comes up to the plate and it's bases loaded, you might think about walking him because it's happened before because he's that good.
What year?
It doesn't matter. You know what year, when his head was a little bit bigger than the years before.
Because of his ego.
Yeah, he had a big ego.
The
that's what it was.
flaxseed.
Yes.
He had a lot of flaxseed.
A little bit of both.
Yeah. Combination. That's what I'm talking about. Basketball, baseball, one player can change the game. Football, you know this, Anthony, it is truly the ultimate team sport because I could have 10 guys doing the right thing, and my left guard stepped left instead of stepping right, and I got a sack. Or my receiver decided to run 10 yards instead of 12 yards, and the ball is intercepted. Those things are team-focused, which is, to me, I'm talking about the best player to play the position. That is Peyton freaking Manning.
What about the greatest winner of all time? Is that where Tom Brady then comes in?
Isn't that where we're at though? Like you got to
You got
to win.
It's a team sport.
I don't disagree with that.
He won,
but we are kind of focusing on the quarterback.
We're
position.
talking legacy though, because we got. And I like this topic because we got off track real quick. This is my fault. I apologize, but
it's your fault for a good reason though. This wound up being a good conversation. I'm not. Quite frankly, I'm not done with it.
Okay, continue.
Let me ask you this, okay? Because I know you are a huge fan of the late great Kobe Bryant.
Yes, he's number 2 on my all-time list.
Kobe to me is like what Tom Brady was in football. Tom Brady is an absolute killer.
I agree. What was Michael Jordan?
A killer.
Okay, so do you have someone better than Tom Brady as a killer? Because you got Kobe. Okay, so
no. Somebody that I know is going to drive the knife into the backs of the fan base on the other side. I know I still left mine in.
Listen.
I left the knife. It's still back there. Martian.
Anthony.
Yeah, it's kind of jammed in there.
Yep, it's infected and all kinds.
I watched it when we played the Patriots in 2007. The year they went undefeated and made their run to the Super Bowl and lost to the Giants. Mm-hmm. I watched it. I watched Tom Brady go after our starting free safety.
Yes.
And attack him. It was personal. It was so personal. It was bad.
Nobody ever heard of that corner again.
Anthony Smith, hats off to you.
Yeah.
Like it was a bad situation for him. I watched it. I understand the level of competitiveness that Tom Brady does have. But if you're telling me I get one quarterback ever to play a down, to play a series, to play a game.
To play in the Super Bowl with your life on the line.
It's going to be Peyton Manning.
And my defensive player is Tracy Porter.
Going against Sean Payton. Listen, I respect your opinion. I really do. But Tom, I've seen enough throughout my lifetime that Tom Brady is going to get it. Is going to get it done, and he's done it multiple times against Peyton Manning too. I mean, multiple times.
Well, that's why I say, is he the greatest winner of all time? Because I don't know if Tom Brady
You tell me the Colts from a talent standpoint, those Colts teams didn't have more talent than the Patriots.
Which years are we talking?
We're not talking 07's the only like ultra talented Patriots team that Brady played on was 07. That was it, and they didn't even win. That was the most talented Patriots team.
They made it to the Super Bowl. They lost.
They did.
Yeah.
Because in that one, it was that was the
David Tyree.
Mm-hmm. Was that that was the Tyree catch? And then the second one was who was it? Manningham?
Mario Manningham.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, Marsh. Got to cut you off.
Oh, I was just saying that like Tom Brady from a winning standpoint is the greatest of all time in football, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's the greatest quarterback from an athleticism and just all of that surrounding the position. That doesn't mean he's the best quarterback of all time, but he's the greatest winner of all time in the NFL.
Don't you have to win as a quarterback?
No, I'm talking about from a sheer like athleticism standpoint and how you break down a defense and all that things.
Sure.
Peyton Manning then could be that guy.
Yeah.
But Peyton Manning and his teams didn't win, so I won't consider him to be the GOAT, the greatest winner of all, the GOAT or whatever you want to call it.
Right. I can't put him in that spot either. I think Peyton Manning was one of the best pre-snap quarterbacks I've ever seen. Tom Brady is the best post-snap.
Nah.
What do you mean, nah? Are you kidding me? I know I'm not supposed to argue with you.
No, okay, I won't argue with you. I just don't think.
I'm not supposed to concede.
Carey, you're right.
I just feel like Peyton Manning, if I were, again, picking, it's going to be Peyton.
All right.
And it might not even be close.
So, all right. So Marsh said real quick. Marsh said you said like athlete, right? The best athlete to ever play the position, Michael Vick by far, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're on the same page on that.
To play the quarterback position?
The most athletic quarterback, like athletically God-given talents.
Yeah.
Athletic talents.
Yes.
Have you seen anybody like Lamar draws comparisons? I'm sorry. I would
Mike was still different.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what I think too.
You didn't even have to agree with him. He agreed with you.
I did.
Well, we agreed with each other.
Peyton has 5 MVPs. How many did Tom Brady have?
We didn't even get to Patrick
The
Mahomes.
league hated him.
Oh, why? Because his team cheated?
Maybe.
Okay. It helps when you know the plays of the opposing team and what plays they're going to run and how they're going to run them if they've never ran before. How'd you know that? Don't worry about it. Great scouting department. Yeah. Hell.
Great film work.
We've never run this.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
We got lucky.
We got a guy.
We're attuned. We know what you're doing.
Yep.
All right, Keith Law's 2024 Farm System rankings. They came out. We'll tell you where the Cardinals finished and whether or not it's a problem. That's next on 101 ESPN.
From the opening drive, the balloon party, BK and Ferrario, to the fast lane and more. If you missed anything on 101 ESPN today, get caught up with all the shows and 101 podcasts at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app.
Driven by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
Hear every St. Louis Blues game right here. WXOS HD1 East St. Louis, 101 ESPN. Two pros and one average show. You're listening to the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Super Bowl champion Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. 303, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We are live at Centene Community Ice Center for tonight's Gateway Warrior Classic All-Star Game. It's refreshed by Bud Light, and they're going to take on the Blues alumni. We'll have a chance to talk to Nathan Laup, who's the founder and president of the Blues Warriors team, and he's the goalie for the Alpha team. So looking forward to talking to Nathan, who's a former Marine. We'll certainly thank him for his service. And Reed Lowe will also join us at some point as he'll play for the alumni team, and we love chatting with Reed. The farm system rankings came out for Keith Law, and I know how we all feel about Keith Law.
We love him.
We know how Janet feels about Keith Law. Okay?
Maybe not.
So take this for what you want, but look, the guy pours in a lot of time. He's somebody that at least has a sense of what every team is doing from a farm system standpoint. So where are the Cardinals in terms of the 2024 farm system rankings? 13th. 13th overall, 4th in the NL Central.
Oh, well, that makes sense, though.
All their guys are here, right?
Well, a little bit of that.
Okay.
Also, the other teams are terrible, according to Anthony Stalter, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. So they are drafting higher players.
There you go.
The Pirates are terrible. The Reds are kind of terrible. But I always say they're not trying.
Because that makes them terrible.
Trying,
and then
not
they can
trying,
draft
terrible.
good players.
They're not trying. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyways, Brewers, by the way, who are not terrible.
They're not great.
But they won 90-plus games last year, and they're the Central.
That's fair.
They have the 2nd overall farm system, according to Keith Law, in Major League Baseball. They're tops in the NL Central. I'll run through this. Brewers are 1st of the NL Central teams. They're 2nd overall. The Cubs are 2nd at 5th overall. The Pirates are 3rd at 9th overall. As I mentioned before, the Cardinals are 4th in the division at 13th overall. The Reds are right behind them at 14th overall, but they're last.
Now, are they counting like Jackson Honey Nut Cheerios, or what?
Yes,
they are counting him?
But they're also counting Mason Wynn.
Okay,
for the Cardinals, so they wouldn't count Jordan Walker, but he is counting Mason Wynn.
Okay,
because Mason Wynn is 16th in Keith Law's top 100 prospects. So I don't know how that factors in. So here's the question, right? So how big of an issue is it? If we were to just look through this, the Reds have a fair amount of their young players up right now. So them being 14th overall, okay. The Pirates being 9th overall, that's not surprising when you're drafting, Marsh, I think to your point, they're drafting high. The concern I have about the Pirates is that they're absolutely loaded with pitching. They've got stud pitching. It's not just, well, they're pretty balanced and they got a good overall farm system. They loaded up on the one thing, in my opinion, that can turn the tide quickly in baseball. It's pitching. I have seen mediocre offenses win World Series because they've had outstanding pitching. I'm not saying you don't need offense. I'm saying you need timely offense, but you absolutely need your pitching staff to be lights out if you're going to win a World Series. So the Pirates loading up, they're not going to win anything ever. But at least they're concentrating on the one aspect that can make the biggest difference.
Sounds like they're trying.
Maybe they are. You're right. That's a good point. And they got some guys up too. Davis, Rodriguez, Trillo, who's one of their top guys. When it comes to the Cardinals, so circling back, I thought that what Keith Law mentioned here is probably the thing that drives me crazy about the Cardinals. A lot of people get ticked off about the spending or lack thereof. That doesn't bother me as much as something that he mentions here.
Okay.
So I'll read part of the Cardinals write-up. They've got a trio of promising up-the-middle position players in or close to the majors, then a raft of arms, maybe back-end starters, maybe bulk relievers who should also start in or quickly get to the AAA this year. What they may lack is a potential superstar, someone who could be a six-war player. Their best guy is shortstop Mason Wynn. It's that middle part, though. Maybe back-end starters, maybe bulk relievers. Again, this is just one man's opinion, okay?
Correct.
But I do think he touched upon something about the Cardinals' farm system that I have concerns about. The ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Cardinals do a great job of always trying to elevate the floor, but not the ceiling.
You want superstars. You want guys that...
If you're going to miss, man, miss big.
Well, I agree with that. I think when they Mason Wynn has the potential to be a really good player.
Yeah.
Especially because of what he can do at shortstop on the defense. I think Jordan Walker has the potential to be a really, really good player. I don't know if he's a superstar, but maybe he is. It depends on how things play. I don't know if you can – there are times where there are can't-miss prospects, right? Like this guy, if everything goes according to plan, he's going to be a Bryce Harper. Is a prime example. Mike Trout, prime example. You know when you sign these guys, can't miss. But then there are some guys, Albert Pujols, where you do not know and nobody has a clue that this guy is going to be a superstar in the near future. It just depends on there are so many circumstances and things that have to fall your way. But when you are a can't-miss prospect, and I think that's what you're talking about, the Cardinals going after those guys. But to get those guys, you have to probably be a bad team, like really bad team, to be able to draft higher to go get one of those guys. I told you, I think I told you a couple of weeks ago, Mike Tomlin talking to Chase Young when he was good in Washington, saying, I'll probably never get a guy like you, a top 5 pick.
Right.
Because we're not going to stink enough to be in the top 5.
Absolutely. No, it's fair.
And so I think that's what the Cardinals are. They're never going to stink for enough years to be able to get those can't-miss prospects. So your job is to get a guy, evaluate him, and hopefully he turns into what Albert Pujols turned into, or something just below that.
They need to hit this year, though. This upcoming summer, they need to hit on this is the highest draft pick they've had in a while.
Very true.
So they need to hit on it.
And look, let me be fair. The job that Randy Flores has done in changing the direction of this organization from the standpoint of what I'm talking about, going after high ceiling players as opposed to high floor players, he's done a remarkable job of that. It wasn't that long ago that you wouldn't have seen the Cardinals take somebody like Jordan Walker, a high school kid out of Atlanta. You would have seen them take the safe college prospect who profiles at the very least as a major leaguer.
Utility man.
Exactly. Exactly. That was the player the Cardinals constantly went after. It was the guy that elevated the floor but not the ceiling. The guy that was going to make the majors but probably not going to be somebody that was going to be an all-star.
Now, is that because they would profile these guys, or these guys would profile as a player that wouldn't break the bank either if they did do well?
That is a question I can't answer, Marsh. It's a good question. I can't answer that.
And fair.
I look at it as, if you look at the players that they have gone after in the past in the draft, it feels like it's the player that, again, is very safe. Somebody that the draft is always a crapshoot anyways, but Carey, you had mentioned this, was drafted a little bit later on in each round. Somebody that is going to have the potential, the high probability of making the big leagues. Is he going to be an all-star? Probably not. He's going to be a utility player. At the very least, he's going to be a utility player. Take him. The very safe guy. They have changed that in recent years, and I love it. But when I see that, maybe back-end starters, maybe bulk relievers, does anybody really get the juices flowing outside of Tink Hence for you guys? Maybe Victor Scott?
Victor Scott.
I think Chase Davis for me.
Chase Davis as well. I think both of those guys are going to be pretty good. To answer your question, Marshall, you were talking about does the contract eventually play into it? I think it's more the personality. I think the personality, because I've told you all, when you are a superstar or projected, you don't care much about anything else, which at times can be troubling for organizations, because this guy has blinders on. He's locked in, dialed into what's in front of him, all the other things outside. And so having players like that, you love to have guys like that on your team, because it's amazing to watch in real time. Like, this guy don't know what the hell's going on. He's so locked into what he's doing. He ain't give a damn what we're doing. But you know that guy is going to show up, be a all-pro, an all-star, a future Hall of Famer, or a first ballot type of Hall of Famer, and you're a better team because of it. So maybe those guys that project to be that type of star, this organization maybe wants to steer clear of, because those type of people have a little bit of different a mindset about how they do their business, how they go about their day-to-day.
We got to get rid of them guys.
Yeah, no, you want those guys.
It's Fastlane on 101 to ESPN. Cardinals are like, do you have a personality?
Yeah, next.
Get out. Let's do some Super Bowl 58 biggest questions. Biggest questions that we have heading into Sunday about certain players or certain, just questions regarding based on the game overall. We'll get into those next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for another moment in Blues history.
On
On this day back in 2000, the Blues would win their 34th game of the season after a 4-1 winner over the Detroit Red Wings. Michael Handzus, Jamal Mayer, Scott Pellerin, and Marty Reasoner all picking up goals in this one as Roman Turek would stop 21 of 22 shots. The Blues would hold Shanahan, Yzerman, Fedorov, Holmstrom, and Pat Verbeek, all pointless in this one.
This date in Blues history was powered by Classic Air Care, making people comfortable since 1926. For all your HVAC needs, ClassicAirCare.com.
Congratulations to Joshua Brink of Fairview Heights in Illinois. He was just named our 101 ESPN Blues Fan of the Week.
Submit your pick now at 101ESPN.com to be the next Fan of the Week. Taking home Blues tickets and a $50 Buffalo Wild Wings gift card. 101 ESPN's Blues Fan of the Week is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, official member of This Bar Bleeds Blue, presented by Bud Light. We're back to more exclusive Blues talk. 101 ESPN is live from the Centene Community Ice Center. Brought to you by Bud Light and E&B Granite. Bernie Federko's only choice for granite countertops, cabinets, and flooring.
Hey, we have your chance right now to score a pair of single-session passes for the 2023 State Farm. Actually, it's 24 now, isn't it? Missouri Valley Conference Men's Basketball Tournament. We were having a conversation earlier today that, Carey, you floored me with. Who is the quarterback that Carey said that if his life was on the line, he would choose to win the Super Bowl? What quarterback did Carey choose?
Did I say Super Bowl or did I say it?
You just said win, but
Okay.
I mean,
game.
we're talking about the Super Bowl, right?
Okay. All right. Super Bowl then.
It's going to be the big game.
The big game.
What's the quarterback that Carey chose
When you put it that way.
to win the Super Bowl? And I'll give you a hint. It wasn't Tom Brady. So if you're the 101st texter to the Air Comfort Service text line, you'll have an opportunity to get those single session passes for Arch Madness. You can find out more at 101ESPN.com. All right, boys, Super Bowl Sunday. The biggest question that you have heading into the game that you're fascinated to watch play out?
I think it's going to be how well does Kansas City hold up against the run? I mean, I talked about it. I think they were 18th in rush yards allowed in the season during the regular season, and they can be had in that area if you choose to do so. We talked about their game against the Raiders earlier this year, where Aiden O'Connell only threw for 62 yards in an entire NFL game.
Only needed 62.
He only needed 62. The Chiefs had a couple of turnovers, and the Raiders scored a couple of times, and they ran the football down their throat. Zamir White had 175 yards. They lost 20-16 or 20-14 in Kansas City. So I think my biggest question is, we know that the 49ers are going to be committed to the run. How well do the Chiefs hold up versus that run?
Okay. Marsh, your biggest question.
Biggest question.
You're sitting there, you're watching the game, you're like, you know what I'm interested in?
I want to know why the Chiefs are not giving Isaiah Pacheco the ball more. That's probably the question that I'm going to be asking myself on Sunday.
That's like a prediction.
It sounds like it. So you're thinking under in carries, I think, huh?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But that is my question is, will they stay with the run if it's working? Because we've mentioned it multiple times, Andy Reid likes to throw the football. He wants to give the ball to Patrick Mahomes, which might be a good idea because he is the best quarterback in the NFL. So, yeah, put the ball in the hands of the best player in the world right now.
Yeah.
So, but if Nick Bosa, if that defense can get to Patrick Mahomes and we see something similar to the Super Bowl that the Chiefs played against the Buccaneers, they may need to start running the football just to open up the passing game. But will they do that? I don't know.
Yeah, you take away the one of the advantages you have, in my opinion, if you don't run the ball successfully, if you're Kansas City, you have a distinct advantage against San Francisco's defense, in my opinion. Nick Bosa and Fred Warner and all of what they do aside, you should be able to hang some points on this San Francisco defense. They struggled against Detroit. They struggled against Green Bay. They struggled against Baltimore.
Yep.
The last few big games against offenses with legit quarterbacks, they struggled against.
Not great.
So if you become one-dimensional and you're not willing to run the ball with Isaiah Pacheco, I think you're taking one of the advantages you have and you're throwing it away for no reason.
I mean, football should be a really easy game. I told you all this yesterday. There's a board in one of those meeting rooms that had the number 87 on it. It's bright, big letters, big numbers, colored. Don't let him get the ball. And San Francisco, run the ball. That should be your recipe. I still don't think it's going to be enough because I think the Chiefs will find a way to win because I ain't betting against Patrick Mahomes ever again till he shows me in a couple of more. Well, he's going to be in a few more Super Bowls, but it doesn't matter. He's going to be in some more Super Bowls, so I'm not betting against him. But the best chance that the 49ers have is Christian McCaffrey being Super Bowl 58 MVP and running the football, a couple of touchdowns, some big pass catches out of the backfield, and making him the focal point of your offense on Sunday.
So the question that I have is totally centered on, and this might be an obvious one, but I'm just being honest. When I'm tuning in on Sunday and, got the beverage and the drinks and all that stuff, watch it with family, the question that I have is whether or not the moment will become too big for Brock Purdy. And I like Brock Purdy a lot. I think he plays perfect. I've talked about this a lot throughout the course of the season. I think he's a perfect fit for Shanahan's offense. I think Shanahan recognized very quickly in his rookie training camp that Brock Purdy had something that tied perfectly with his offense. I've talked about this a lot with Bill Walsh, knowing footwork-wise, pace of play, where the ball was being placed in his offense, what quarterback was going to be good and what quarterback wouldn't. That being said, Brock Purdy stunk in the first half in the NFC Championship game. He stunk in the first half against Green Bay. I don't think he's going to get away with that. That's that level of play, or even just mediocre play in the Super Bowl.
That level of stink.
That level of stank will not work against Kansas City, because we know this about Kansas City. While they struggle offensively in the second half, they do not struggle defensively in the second half. And they tend to have their best offensive football in the first half.
Right.
You could be down 27-7 in the Super Bowl and face Kansas City's defense as opposed to Detroit's defense that you were able to do 2 weeks ago.
But the trends show that if Kansas City has a lead, they're not privy to scoring in the second half, whereas in those other games, Brock Purdy did come back.
He did.
He has confidence now in his head. Like Carey, you mentioned multiple times, you have to think that you're the best player in the world on the football field that given day. Brock Purdy's got a ton of confidence. He's done it before. So if he is in that situation and his teammates are like, dude, we need you to step up, he's like, hey, already done it. Been there, done that. Let's go do it again. Let's go win a Lombardi trophy. So that's possible. He could do that. Plus, like, it's a feel-good story, right? Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, ends up coming back in the Super Bowl to defeat the...
Winds up being relevant.
He winds up being relevant.
How ironic.
He wins the Super Bowl. Like, that could happen. Anything could happen, really. I know we're going to get to predictions later on in the show. This is a hard Super Bowl to predict. I don't know which way it's going to go.
I agree.
Based on what we've seen so far this season and in the postseason.
This is a really good matchup. I mean, you got, obviously it's a rematch from a few years ago. You got an offensive coach, or a head coach in Kyle Shanahan, who is trying to get his first win, a head coach in Andy Reid, who is trying to put his foot down in terms of dominance and what he's been doing his entire career. Two quarterbacks from opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of, one guy was Mr. Irrelevant and the other guy is a first ballot Hall of Famer if he stopped playing football at Monday morning and didn't take another snap. And so you got these storylines. You got Christian McCaffrey, who got traded there. The 49ers, who were one game away last year, and then the injury to Brock Purdy. There are so many things. I think this 49ers team, I got the Chiefs winning. I would not be surprised if the 49ers win, because I think they are much better than people have given them credit for, despite how poorly they played the last couple of weeks in the AFC Championship game.
And they need this more than Kansas City does. They've been in this situation multiple times. They haven't won, they haven't won since before I was born.
Yeah.
Right? It's been a while.
90s, 94 against the Chargers.
So it's been a long time. So to me, they need this more than the Chiefs do. Going back to that legacy thing, if Patrick Mahomes loses this Super Bowl, it's not going to affect his legacy.
Well, I think I could speak for Red Kingdom when I say this, Marsh. I don't like the cut of your jib right now.
Is it Red Kingdom or is it Chief Kingdom?
It's both.
Yeah. Whatever he said, man. He's been a Chiefs fan all of 3 weeks.
Thank you.
He knows the answer.
More like 2, maybe
2.5. Well, 3 when it's all said and done, maybe. Right? 2.
Well,
either way, I've been a Chief fan longer than he has.
Anthony, I've been to Arrowhead.
I've been to Arrowhead too.
Did you wear Chiefs
Just
gear
not
when
for
you
a
were
Chiefs
there?
game.
Were you there for the Taylor Swift concert?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a Swiftie.
That's why I got you that pair of Depends.
Which I appreciate, man.
So
I
you
totally
can sit there
do.
and watch the entire time. You don't got to get up. Makes sense.
We're at Sensing Community Ice Center for the Gateway Warrior Classic All-Star Game. Hey, quick shout-out to – I met some people out in the hallway here. Quick shout-out to Jim Johnson. He's the Houston goaltender, and he is a service member. So we appreciate – a retired service member. We appreciate Jim's – dedication to protecting our freedoms here in America. So thank you to Jim Johnson, again, the goaltender for Houston, who's playing right now. And this is an event that we love to be a part of in a very small way. And we'll talk to Nathan Laup founder and president of the Blues Warriors team. He's the goalie for the Alpha team, and he's going to be joining us. He's a former Marine, alongside, or as well as Reed Lowe, who join us in the 5 o'clock hour. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Let's do our Sports Six-Pack next. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. So if you have a question for us, send it there. Again, Sports Six-Pack next in the Fast Lane.
Coverage of 101 ESPN is presented by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. GetJim.com. Miss the Blues game? Want to hear the highlights? Need player reaction? Want more analysis and opinion? It's all here on Curbside Reaction, your next day post-game podcast with the voice of the St. Louis Blues, Chris Kerber. Catch new episodes of Curbside every morning after every Blues game on 101ESPN.com or on the 101 mobile app.
Hey, this weekend, head out to Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. I know you're probably going to watch some Blues and you're going to watch maybe the Super Bowl, but when it comes to finding a car, they couldn't make it easier than at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. You could start right there at AutoCentersNissan.com. You can peruse the vehicles that they have. In fact, they've got, right now, 228 new vehicles ready for you to look at AutoCentersNissan.com and then go test drive. But they have over 700 vehicles overall at their lot, and I love the fact that they make it easy for you. They do it at one location at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. So when it comes to the dealership experience, you go down to Herculaneum and test drive some vehicles. They've got financing options for everyone that walks through the door. I'm talking about good credit, bad credit. It does not matter. If you need a vehicle and you need a way to finance that vehicle and you want to feel comfortable about your monthly payments, there is no better spot than Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. They also give you a 30-day return promise. They're so confident that you're going to love your new vehicle that they give you the 30-day return promise because they want you to have peace of mind that when you drive off the lot, for whatever reason, within 30 days, if you need to bring the vehicle back, no problem. They will give you a refund. And they also give you the lifetime complimentary warranty as well when it comes to new Nissans. It's Auto Center's Nissan. Tell them Stalter sent you.
This Sunday, It's the Super Bowl on 101 ESPN. Chiefs and 49ers. Will it be another Kelsey Swift celebration, or will Brock Purdy crash the Vegas party? Coverage gets underway this Sunday at 4. Your exclusive home for the Super Bowl is 101 ESPN. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Blues prep for their bout against Sabres. I'm Bradford Bruns with your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. With 33 games remaining, St. Louis returns to the rink tomorrow in Buffalo. Puck drop happening at noon right here on 101 ESPN. The Blues, of course, have been idle since last Tuesday's defeat at the hands of Columbus. As for the Sabres, they're coming off a loss to Dallas. Basketball college version, Mizzou takes aim at conference win number 1 this weekend with Mississippi State on the ledger. Number 10, Illinois visits Michigan State, while SLU stays on the East Coast to tackle St. Joseph's. This Sports Center update was driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Strap yourself in. You're in the fast lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is now.
All right, time for the Sports Six Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. Question 1, please.
Question number 1.
Well, shout out to Danny Mac.
There you go.
From the 314, you guys talk Cards should be built to win 100 games. Tell me what happened when the Cards last won 100 games. They lost in the first round.
Yeah. How about that? So clearly, winning 100 games should not be the motto for the St. Louis Cardinals. You know what should be the motto?
What's that, Carey?
80 to 85, and then you get your shirt. And what is that shirt today, Anthony?
National.
Just get in.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say National League Central Division winners.
There you go. That too.
Yeah.
You know.
Can I ask you guys a question based off this question or this statement?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why would a team build itself to win 85 games as opposed to 100 plus?
He should. Well, maybe he or she is thinking about the level of fatigue that is associated with winning 100 games. You know, just a little bit more tired. And you can save those 15 games for later on in the postseason. If you allow yourself to win I'm just giving you some thoughts here. We're spitballing here. 85 games.
I appreciate it.
85 games, and you keep that energy for the 15 that you could have won, but you use that later on down the road in the playoffs. October means more, so you just save that energy. You know,
but again, Carey, we're in the trust tree, right? If we're talking specifically based off the text message of building a team in a certain way, I ask again, because we're not talking about like load management and all that.
Kinda.
Why would any team say to itself, we are going to build like an 82-win team, 85-win team, and not build to be, even if it's not realistic, a 150-win team. But I'm building it that way.
Anthony, 2011, 2006, they didn't need 100 wins. What are you talking about?
I'm well aware. But again, we're talking about we haven't even played a game. We're talking about building a team in a certain way.
Can I ask you a real
question? It's cheaper, Anthony.
There you go. Can I ask you a real question? How much more does it cost to pay for a 100-win team versus an 85-win team? What are we talking here? Another $40, $50 million? $60 million for that 15 more wins? We can just get 85, just get in, and save that energy from the 15 games that we didn't, and the money, and use that on the back end. You're not seeing this clearly, sir.
You know what?
Anthony, we can save all that money. We can build a new bar at Ballpark Village. There's a lot of things we can do.
You know what? You guys are right, and so is the texter. Here's what I want to see the Cardinals do. I want to see them shoot to just get in, baby.
Yes.
Because when you just get in, that's when you win World Series.
Yes.
Have the talent to potentially win it all? Not in April. We don't build our team that way.
Yeah.
But boy, when we catch enough breaks down the road,
anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
People get injured.
Yeah.
When you're winning 100 games, you know how tired those other teams are?
Oh, very tired. Yeah, very tired.
Anthony, sometimes, some people say that those Cardinal teams, they just got lucky, right? Well, luck is hard work and preparation. That is luck.
Okay.
You create your own bounces.
Marsh, you're absolutely right on this. Again, I'm changing my whole viewpoint. Really, my whole lifestyle is just the mental approach that I'm going to have moving forward. It's just basically going to be, hey, do what's good enough and see if you catch enough breaks.
I like where your head's
the American way.
Question 2, please.
Stop it. Question number 2.
From the 314, what would your dream matchup be for next year's Super Bowl?
Let's see here. Falcons.
Oh, my God.
Ravens.
Oh, my goodness.
The Bird Bowl.
Oh, my goodness.
No?
No.
All right. Chiefs. Falcons.
Too much red. Can't have too much red
They
2
wear
years in a row.
The Falcons wear black.
No.
All right. Let's see here.
Give me
Chargers and Falcons.
No.
Come on. We got to be realistic now.
Bengals
Yeah?
and Falcons.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. No.
I would like to see. I do like the Chargers. I like that pick. Assuming that Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh work well together and it goes really well for them. How about the Chargers versus the Detroit Lions?
Nah, it doesn't interest
I
me.
don't like that.
What?
Too much blue.
You guys.
No.
Who do you want to see from the NFC side? Not the Cowboys.
Definitely the.
I told you.
It's my turn now.
Okay.
I'll take the Vikings.
There is nobody on the NFC side that intrigues you or interests you.
I want to see. I want to see an NFC team that is like they're exciting, almost like Houston. They come out of nowhere. They're exciting. They got a young
the Green Bay
quarterback.
Packers.
Yeah, it might be the Green Bay Packers.
Look at Marshall's face. He hated that answer.
Yeah, he did.
I'd rather see the Lions.
So far, you've given them 2 NFC North teams. How do you
Come
think? How do you think he feels?
I didn't say the Bears.
Well, you don't have to.
No, I
Yeah,
don't
you
have
don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
Unless they have Rex Grossman, of course.
Then clearly they'd be back in the Super Bowl.
All right, so I'll answer that this way: the NFC team that drafts a quarterback winds up starting them, and that quarterback has like a C.J. Stroud type year. I want to see that team. I want to see a rookie quarterback make a run.
Oh, there aren't any teams that are. What team? He's talking about the Falcons, man.
I don't know.
I didn't say
How
that.
the hell? How'd you get back?
I didn't say him.
I looked at the list of teams that needed a quarterback to be drafted, and
It could be the Bears.
Lo and behold,
It could be the Bears.
The Falcons need a QB.
It could be the. It could be the Bears. Or it could be the Falcons.
I have an AFC team that I would love to see in the Super Bowl because the media would lose their minds.
Ooh, can I guess?
Yes.
Can Carey and I guess? The Raiders.
No.
The Browns.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
no.
Let me slow down here. The New York Football Jets.
Yes.
There it is. Yep.
Jets. Jets.
Well, Aaron Rodgers back in the Super Bowl. He brings a team that is worthless to the Super Bowl.
Versus his former team, the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, actually, that would be intriguing. That would be intriguing, and I'd want the Jets to win, but it would be an interesting Super Bowl.
Marsh is all about the narrative.
I am. I'll allow it.
There you go.
Yeah. Question 3, please.
Question number 3.
All right. From the 314, if baseball is business, why can't they sell stock in the team?
Ooh, you're getting into territory that we don't know about. Remember, it was Mike, the one caller that was educating us on things like profit and loss. And,
Yeah.
P&L. We had to Google that it was profit and loss. We didn't know.
Basic economics, I think Mike was trying to help us with. He was snarky as all get out.
Business ethics.
Yeah. Learn about those things.
But no, I don't. Yeah, baseball teams, sports teams aren't what's it called? They're not traded. They're not
stocks.
It's called something.
This is why we need Mike to give us a text back and let us know.
Publicly traded. Publicly traded. entities? I don't know. Question is, or the answer is, I don't know.
There you go.
I hope you like that answer.
Wow, this is next question. Hit the next question.
Question 4, please.
We're open for business.
Question number 4.
From the 314, if Forrest Gump has the ball on the 20-yard line and Bobby Boucher is playing defensive line, does Forrest score or get smashed by Bobby?
Oh.
Boucher.
You think Bobby wins?
Forrest Gump can only run in a straight line off the kickoff. We have not seen Forrest Gump take the ball from his backfield, follow his blocks, and score that way.
Well, he never stepped on the field again. He ran off the field. We never saw him again.
That was one and done.
But he had a very specific position. Bobby Boucher was a natural linebacker.
Yeah.
We're talking sideline to sideline speed, ferocious hitting power when he was reminded of his childhood idol, not even his childhood, his adulthood idol, making fun of him. When you put that vision in Bobby Boucher's head, he was unstoppable. Give me Boucher.
I think I might agree with you. Bobby Boucher was he's probably.
Now, on a kickoff, might be a different story. Like, I didn't see Boucher on special teams.
Yeah, guys like that,
Like Ray Lewis is not playing special teams, but could he? Yeah, probably.
Nah.
No, you don't think so?
Ray didn't have the top end speed for that.
Who's a better player, though?
Forrest. You broke your pen?
I did, yeah. That sucks, too, because you can't attach on your backpack there.
Forrest, I think, was a better player.
You think so?
Wasn't he an All-American?
He was an All-American, yeah.
He met the president, and he said he had to relieve himself. Bobby Boucher was...
but Boucher played for a worse team.
He did, and he led that team to win the Bourbon Bowl, too.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Talk about a second-half comeback.
And the Bud Dogs, I don't think they had played in the Bourbon Bowl or a bowl game.
So.
They're
Probably
terrible.
not. I mean...
Yeah, I got to go with Boucher.
I'm going Forrest.
All right, that's fair. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. You don't get any thought-provoking thoughts on like that and any other show here on 101 ESPN. I'll tell you that much. We bring the heat. MLB offseason grades. Cardinals got a C, which is like, okay. But then looking at the other
champions,
the rest. No, Marsh.
Yes.
Looking at the rest of these grades handed out by the Athletic, I'm like, what the? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Kickstart your mornings with the opening drive on 101 ESPN. Get in the know first on everything St. Louis sports with Brooke Grimsley, Dan McLaughlin, and Randy Carricker. The opening drive, weekday mornings from 7 to 10 on 101 ESPN.
The opening drive is presented by Sumner One.
Blues talk more often. 101 ESPN is live from the Centene Community Ice Center. Brought to you by Bud Light and E&B Granite. Bernie Federko's only choice for granite countertops, cabinets, and flooring.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We're live from Centene Community Ice Center for the Gateway Warrior Classic All-Star Game, which is tonight. And we'll talk to a couple of guests coming up in the later hours, the second half of the show. The Cardinals received an offseason grade of C at The Athletic. If you're looking at the rest of the NL Central, this is where I think things are interesting. The Pirates got a D. No surprise there. They didn't try. But the Brewers and Cubs also received a C, and the Reds received a B for their efforts this offseason. The Reds are the one that's kind of confusing because they added Jhalmar Candelario, Nick Martinez, and Frankie Montas. Frankie Montas didn't pitch last year. Nick Martinez was fine, and Candelario is a really underrated player. They lost Votto, Senzel, and then Ben Lively. How is that a B compared to what the Cardinals did? Like, we could sit here and talk about, well, Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson be worth it. Sonny Gray, though, is coming off an outstanding season. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the rotation right now compared to what it was a year ago, you can't help but say you have to admit that it's better. Right. Plus some of the other moves that they made with the bullpen. I don't see how they fall in the same category as the Cubs and Brewers, and then you elevate what the Reds did.
Well, maybe there is not as much excitement about the starters that they signed elsewhere. I mean, in terms of who the Cardinals signed. Maybe there isn't as much excitement for Kyle Gibson, Sonny Gray, and Lance Lynn. Maybe we are somewhat excited because it should be an upgrade from the three starters, Waino and Jordan Montgomery and Jack Flaherty. It should be, but maybe outside of St. Louis, people aren't as excited and thinking, no, that team needed to go get what they deem an ace or another arm to add to that pitching, to that starting rotation.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody should be excited because when you look at it, and they pointed it out, I don't think anybody should be excited. Sonny Gray, I really like the signing. Mm-hmm. I do. I don't mind the Lance Lynn signing. I don't mind the Kyle Gibson signing. Lynn hit a 5.73 ERA last year. Gibson had a 4.73 ERA. And as they pointed out, Gray hit last year. That was the first season throwing more than 140 innings since 2019. So
there goes that argument against eating up innings for your starters.
Maybe not. You know, hopefully he can replicate that. But again, my beef is looking at the rest of the NL Central and saying, okay, this is you're on par with some of these others. I mean, the Cubs haven't done much. The Brewers traded their best player in Corbin Burns. Now, did they set themselves up better for the future? Perhaps. But we still don't know if they'll give up Willy Adames, too, at some point. They lose Corbin Burns, Carlos Santana, and Mark Canha, and they bring in Rhys Hoskins, who did not play last year. I think it's a good signing, but he didn't play last year. Jacob Junis, he's nothing to write home about, and D.L. Hall. Mm-hmm. That's that offseason compared to what the Cardinals did? I don't know. At the very least, I would give the Reds and the Cardinals a B-, the rest of them C's and D's.
I would look at it from this standpoint as well. When you're looking at the payroll, so the Brewers are at estimated $105 million for this year. The Cardinals are at $176 million for this year. So maybe those teams are doing more with less, and maybe that's part of the reason why some of these people think that they're on par with what the Cardinals have. If you have if those are your numbers, you're spending $70 more million than a division foe. Mm-hmm. You should be markedly better. Yeah. Right? It should be noticeable. It shouldn't be maybe not. I think that may have something to do with it as well.
I do think that we were having this conversation earlier about the Cardinals farm system and the floor and the ceiling and all that. And by the way, we do need a new gauntlet contestant, so let me throw that out there right now. Send in to the Air Comfort Service text line the word gauntlet, 314-399-9646, because we've got the gauntlet coming up in less than 5 minutes. This is what I was referring to earlier too, Carey. But the rest of St. Louis's offseason was seemingly spent raising the floor or bringing back an old friend, Matt Carpenter, rather than raising the ceiling. That is exactly how I feel the Cardinals have operated more times than not. That does not mean they're bad. That doesn't mean that they're not trying or they're not this or not that. It just means simply what it says. They are so focused on raising the floor, the bottom of the roster, the middle of the roster, as opposed to constantly attacking and trying to improve the top of the roster.
Yeah.
That is the way I have felt about the Cardinals since right around 2019. That's just...
That seems to be, and you've gotten, what have been the results due to that?
You don't have any playoff wins.
There you go.
Since after 2019.
So maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's the explanation for it. It's just, for me, I want to see them do more. But the want to see more and actually get to see more, it's like a kid on Christmas, man. Like some Christmases, some people have great Christmases, and some people don't have great Christmases, Anthony. Sometimes you want that toy, that wonderful thing, and sometimes your parents just cannot afford it.
Sure.
And we are the kids who parents can't afford it, except they can, and they just don't.
Oh, that's me.
That's worse.
You know, Carey, can I alter that vision? Because this is how I feel. We're the kids, Cardinals fans, we're the kids on Christmas.
Yeah.
Knowing that our parents do have the resources to go out and get some toys that we want. And we open it up. We open up the presents, okay? And we do have plenty of presents, boys. We do get some presents. But every time we open them up, it's underwear and socks. It's practicality. Do we need underwear? Do we need socks?
Yes.
Absolutely.
You do. You always do.
But that's not the point of Christmas, though.
Yeah, it kind of is. The necessity.
The point of Christmas, I think, could be defined in a different way,
That's
Mark.
fair,
you know,
I'm looking at it from a gift standpoint. I understand what you're saying, and I agree.
Yeah. But that's how I view it. The Cardinals could say they give us what we need.
There you go.
And not
but you're
anything
getting
more.
something.
Yeah.
And you do not take
Plain
that for granted.
White underwear and socks.
You're happy about it. Because when you get older like us, you really appreciate those underwear and socks, don't you?
Yeah.
As a child, maybe not so much. But you appreciate the necessities when you reach a certain age.
Okay.
There you go.
You're right.
We just have to wait till we get to that age.
But we're getting those, like, as Cardinal fans, we're getting those, like, flimsy boxers, the ones where you're like, this kind of feels weird. You're in middle school. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, like you're trying to, you got to adjust them 24/7.
Yeah, they're riding up your you-know-what.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what are you wearing, shorts under there? No, they're my boxers.
Okay.
Yep. All right, we got the gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
You want to say something? Then say it. Use the mic drop feature in the 101 ESPN app. Search the 101 ESPN app now in the App Store or Google Play.
When it comes to working with the best in the business, I, of course, am referring to the one and only Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. He is somebody that Jamie and I trust wholeheartedly when it comes to knowing where interest rates are, knowing where the market could be, knowing about the Federal Reserve. There are things that, yeah, you'd love to stay on top of as an adult, but you've got your own responsibilities with work and kids and life and your significant other that you might lose track of things that you, quote unquote, should be staying on top of. That's why guys like Stewie come in. So if you're purchasing a home right now, you're working with a lender, you're working with a real estate lender, at least call Stewie and have him look over the loan. Because chances are he's going to find you some opportunities to save you money over the loan, or perhaps have more money to go to the seller with to really attract things and make sure that you get the dream home that you want, right? We're talking about the biggest investment of your life, so why not have a second opinion with a guy like Stewie? Maybe you have a situation where you're up to your ears in debt and you're scared and you don't know what to do and you think you can't do anything about it, so you just sit there and you live in fear. Stop. Call Stewie right now, 314-324-4440. Again, 314-324-4440. You can always Google the Bagel Loan, too. The Bagel Loan, if you're borrowing $200,000 or more, no lender fees, no closing cost fees. Nobody else is doing this. Give Stewie a call or text on his personal cell phone number. If you miss that number, you can always Google the Bagel Loan.
NMLS number 226715.
Since opening its doors in 1982, Tucker's Place has been St. Louis's go-to for delicious, award-winning steaks and huge baked potatoes. Now is the perfect time to head to Tucker's. Can you think of a better way to beat the cold than a juicy steak in a friendly and cozy atmosphere? Tucker's is open 7 days a week with 3 locations ready to serve you: Soulard, West County, or South County. Find Tucker's on Facebook or visit tuckersplace.com to learn more. Tucker's Place, another fantastic, locally owned business supported by Kuna Food Service.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return. This is the Fast Lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN. 4 warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
All right, time for the gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. We're live from Centene Community Ice Center, and we welcome Justin, who's on the line right now. Justin's going to be the latest contestant in the gauntlet. What's up, Justin?
Not much. What's up?
We're having a good time out here. We're ready for the weekend, man. I'm sure you are, too.
First
time. There you go. First time in the gauntlet?
Yes, sir.
Well, welcome aboard, my man. Would you like to take on CD, Marsh, or me today?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I was thinking about it when I was waiting. So I am going to actually take on you, Mr. Stalter.
Ooh. Well, good luck in hockey today, my man.
Thank you.
Right.
You too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Justin. Anthony is leaving the building, and we're going to. What topic did you say you wanted?
It doesn't matter.
All right. Well, Bradford is at the studio, so tell him to spin that wheel. We'll see what we get.
All right, Bradford, spin that wheel, my man.
Oh, Justin, how fitting is this? We're about 50 hours away from the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 58. You've got football today.
All right, bring it on.
Oh. All right. Well, Marshy is getting the launch codes as we prepared. Here we go. All right, Justin, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. St. Louis Rams legend Torrey Holt is a finalist for the Football Hall of Fame. He was a finalist. How many times did Big Game lead the NFL in receiving yards?
Gosh. All right, give me the options. I should know this.
Twice, 3 times, or 4 times?
I was thinking 3 times.
Final answer?
Sure, yes.
Question number 2. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy played his college football at Iowa State. Who was his head coach there from 2018 to 2021?
Well, seeing how I'm not a fan of Iowa State, options, please.
Your options are Gene Chizik, Joe Moorhead, or Matt Campbell.
I was thinking that, okay, Matt Campbell.
Final answer?
Yes.
All right, question 3. When San Francisco and Baltimore met in Super Bowl 47, one player returned the second half kickoff 108 yards for a touchdown. Name that player.
Super Bowl 47, 108 yards. Yeah. God, I know this. Oh, man, I know this. Okay, options, yeah.
Is it Captain Munnerlyn, Jacoby Jones, or Ted Ginn Jr.?
I was thinking, yep, Jacoby Jones.
Final answer?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Captain Munnerlyn.
You like that name?
Hello, Captain.
Hello, Captain.
Hello.
Question number 4. Kansas City's Andy Reid broke into the NFL in 1992, taking charge of the offensive line and tight ends with which organization?
Yeah, 92. Oh. Well, I know Anthony's probably going to get this one, but all right, options.
Your options are the Green Bay Packers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, or the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah. I know I should know this one. I'm not too sure, so I'm going to take a stab, and I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers.
Final answer?
Yes, sir.
All
right, we'll get Anthony back in here. He's outside, just wandering around aimlessly.
All right now.
He's walking back in, checking over his shoulder. Everything good? Okay. How are you feeling, Justin? Are you feeling okay?
You know, I guess 50-50, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
but
Anthony's...
I am rooting for the 49ers this weekend, so.
Oh, well, good luck with that. I don't know how that's going to go for you. Anthony, welcome back.
Thank you. Hey, shout out to Rachel from the Coast Guard. Rachel was outside.
Hello,
she
Rachel.
said she recognized me. She said, are you playing the Gauntlet? I said, yeah. So, shout out to Rachel. Her friends were out there, too. They were Air Force.
Nice.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I love meeting new people here at Centene Community Ice Center.
Did she tell you to pack a lunch?
No, she did not.
But she should have.
Your topic is random. Oh. Taylor Swift. No, I'm kidding. It's football.
Is it football? It's football,
It's
Anthony.
football.
It's foosball. Yeah. So, first question,
Got you,
Taylor
Anthony.
Swift.
Yeah. I was ready for hockey.
All right, here we go.
You know what's funny, though? I just experienced that. You said random. I'm like, oh, no. That was worse. I really better expand my horizons outside of football and baseball.
All right, here we go. St. Louis Rams legend Torrey Holt was a finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2024. How many times did Big Game Holt lead the NFL in receiving yards?
Lead the NFL in receiving yards?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. This is just going to be an educated guess on this. You know what? Actually, give me the options, please.
Is it twice, 3 times, or 4 times?
So I was going to say twice, but I didn't want there to be a 0 as an option. So give me twice. Final answer.
Question number 2. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy played his college football at Iowa State. Who was his head coach there from 2018 to 2021?
Had to be Campbell. Unless there's somebody else. Yeah, I think it was Campbell. Mark Campbell. Brian Campbell. What's his first name?
You tell me.
Do tell.
Matt Campbell. Final answer. Why does that not sound right?
Final answer?
I already said it.
When San Francisco and Baltimore met in Super Bowl 47, one player returned the second half kickoff 108 yards. Name that player.
Return the kickoff?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I remember this? I'll need the options on this.
Is it Captain Munnerlyn, Jacoby Jones, or Ted Ginn Jr.?
Can you repeat the question?
When San Francisco and Baltimore met in Super Bowl 47, one player returned the second half kickoff 108 yards for a touchdown. Name that player.
Was it Ted Ginn? My options were Ted Ginn, Jacoby Jones, and who?
Captain Munnerlyn.
I think it was Ted Ginn.
Final answer.
Ted Ginn, final answer.
Question number 4. Kansas City's Andy Reid broke into the NFL in 1992, taking charge of the offensive line and tight ends with which organization?
That was, oh man. Was it San Francisco or Green Bay? All those guys were either with Green Bay or San Francisco. And I'm pretty sure it was Green Bay. I'm pretty sure it was Green Bay. They were all under Holmgren. Yeah, Green Bay. Final answer.
All right.
I do not feel good about this. I feel like I let Rachel and the entire Coast Guard down.
Oh, let's not do that.
We shall find out.
We shall. All right, let's start with question number 2. The 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy played his college football at Iowa State. Who was the head coach there from 2018 to 2021? Justin, you said Matt Campbell. Anthony, you said Matt Campbell. Marshy, the answer is?
It's not Brian. It's not Mark. It is Matt Campbell.
But Anthony, you didn't need any options.
Nice.
You're up 2-1.
Nice. Way to go, Anthony.
Thank you, Justin. I'm sitting here torturing myself right now.
All right. Question number 3. When San Francisco and Baltimore met in Super Bowl 47, one player returned the second half kickoff 108 yards. Name that player. Anthony, you said Ted Ginn Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, you said Jacoby Jones.
Yeah.
The correct answer is?
Well, Anthony can't remember because he's always getting food during the halftime, not back in time for the second half. It's Jacoby Jones.
Oh, nice job, Justin.
We have a 2-2 tie.
Thank you.
Huh.
All right, let's go.
Did Ted Ginn have a big return at some point
Not
in the Super Bowl?
He had a return in the national championship game for Ohio State.
He had the opening kickoff.
Yep.
That's right. They played Notre Dame, and they played. Wasn't in Notre Dame?
They played Florida. They played Florida that year.
All right.
Cool.
Let's go to question number 4.
It was either Florida or LSU. I know they played those teams twice.
That's right.
Kansas City Andy Reid broke into the NFL in 1992, taking charge of the offensive line and tight ends for which organization? Justin, you said the Packers. Anthony, you went back and forth between San Francisco and the Packers, and then you finally came to the Packers as well. Marshy, the correct answer is?
It's the Packers.
But
Anthony didn't need the options. Yeah.
Oh. Good job, though, Justin.
We have a 4-3 lead for Anthony. All on this final question.
Oh, God.
The St. Louis Rams legend Torrey Holt is a finalist, or was a finalist, for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2024. How many times did Big Game Holt lead the NFL in receiving? You all have different answers. Justin, you took the options, and you said 3 times. Anthony, you initially said, I don't need the options. I said, give me the options. You said twice. If the answer is 3 times, we got to walk off. If the answer is twice or anything else, Anthony, you win. Justin.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Not today.
Congratulations, Anthony. You got it.
Thank you, Justin. That was a battle.
The answer was twice. Anthony, you got it.
All right. Justin, nice job, man. That wound up being a great fight.
You also, man. I listen to you guys every day. You all rock. And I just got one question for you, Anthony, if you don't mind.
No
Before
problem.
I hang up. Okay. So what made you pick Green Bay over San Francisco on the last question about Andy Reid?
What made me pick Green Bay over San Francisco?
Yeah.
Holmgren. Remembering that all of those guys, all of those guys were under Mike Holmgren, and Mike Holmgren was in Green Bay. So that gave me that tipped me off there.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Well, congratulations again, and you guys have a great weekend.
Thanks, Justin. Thanks, man.
Justin.
Great stuff. Have a great weekend as well. We appreciate you listening. That's a typical Andrew Marsh.
I like that post-game question.
It was a really good question.
We should do that more often. What was your thought process behind picking, this question or that question?
And that's what it was. I thought about Mike Holmgren like he was in Green Bay. So all those guys were. Have you ever looked at that whole?
Yes, it is so many guys.
The coaching staff. It was John Gruden.
Yep.
It was John Gruden. It was Andy Reid. It was there was another prominent guy. Anyways, we're going to get to Nathan Lopp, who is the goaltender for the Alpha team, and he's the founder and president of Blues Warriors, former Marine. Really looking forward to talking to Nate next on 101 ESPN.
Up-to-date info and breaking sports news first. All on the 101 ESPN app, in your App Store or Google Play.
Nachos! Yeah, your nachos!
Hey, I'll take some.
Great. And some Frank's Red Hot.
Oh, nah, I'm good.
Oh, you're just gonna eat these dry, plain, boring nachos with no Franks. Seriously? Frank it up. Frank it up. Come on, lady. Frank it up. Frank it up. Frank it up. Yeah! Hey, this guy finally gets it. Hey, look, we're on the Jumbotron.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
BK and Ferrario are asking their listeners to try and beat the Blues during their weekly special giveaway. Random selected listeners will compete to score a signed Blues puck and a pair of tickets to a Blues home game. The Beat the Blues weekly giveaway with BK and Ferrario is powered by Comfort Experts, your independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Learn more now at 101ESPN.com. Wall-to-wall Blues coverage is right here. 101 ESPN is live from the Centene Community Ice Center. Brought to you by Bud Light and E&B Granite. Bernie Federko's only choice for granite countertops, cabinets, and flooring.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN with Super Bowl champion Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. We are live at Centene Community Ice Center for the Gateway Warrior Classic All-Star Game, which is tonight, and we're looking forward to it. And our next two guests are looking forward to it as well. Nathan Lopp, the president of Warriors Hockey and the Alpha goaltender.
That's right.
There you go. Former Marine as well. Thank you for your service.
Correct. Thank you.
And then we also have Drew Boyd, who's the tournament director here as well. So, Drew, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You guys got an exciting night coming up here. How many times have you guys participated?
So this will be our third year.
Okay.
So we We've been really fortunate, to be partnered with the Blues and the Blues alumni, and they've just really taken this thing on, and they love getting out there and giving our guys a hard time.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like anytime we chat with any of the alumni for the Blues, they can ramp it up, and they base it off of how intense you guys are too. They'll either match you or try to go one up, and then go from there.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of smack talk out there.
Sure.
And it's pretty funny because those guys really get along with us because we're veterans. We had something we used to do that we all want to do again. It's kind of the same thing for the alumni.
That's a great way to put it. Sure. Who talks the most smack out of the former Blues?
Soupy.
Okay.
I would say he talks a lot of smack, but he's also scored a lot of goals. So I can't say much.
He's earned it.
Yeah, he has.
Drew, what's the most difficult aspect of putting on a tournament like this?
Just making sure that each division is fair. With the amount of teams that we have across the country, every team judges their skill differently. So with the 6 to 7 divisions total, what we think is where we're at, and another team thinks they're at, they don't mesh. So
sure.
it's making sure everything's on an even playing field.
So how do you determine that then?
We have guys that spend hours on every roster, go back 2 years, look at every game, and they look at goals scored, points total, and we just rack and stack.
You all have a scouting department, huh?
We do. We do.
Pretty cool.
We have one guy that spends hours.
That's awesome. Man. So I was going to ask you, Warrior Hockey, where does that name come from?
I think that comes from our military status. So we were warriors. We've all served. We volunteered to do what we did for our country, and to carry that on, and then it's now for us all to be civilians and veterans. But we're still warriors. That's how we feel, and it really lets us get those juices out, our competitive nature. And it's funny because my wife, I have a wife and kids and everything else and a job, and this really just feeds that beast. Yeah, really is what it is.
I actually spent time. I went to Afghanistan on a USO tour a couple of years ago and got to be around military members and see how much work you all put in. But when you all retire or when you are done doing what you do, just like us, not like us, but when we're done, you do need something to get those juices flowing because you're so used to being combative or competitive and being involved in those things. And I'm sure having this opportunity, especially going against former professional athletes, that just really gets the juices flowing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we get out there, and you don't want to let that guy get past you. You don't care if he used to play in the NHL or anything like that.
Sure.
No, you're not beating me.
Yeah. You're the best player on the ice at that given moment, right? I mean, that's the mentality. Nathan Lopp, who's the president, or he's the founder and president of the Blues Warriors, and the goaltender for the Alpha team as well, former Marine. We've got Drew Boyd, who is the tournament director and puts on a lot of the facilities. You're seeing the event that we have going on tonight, the Gateway Warrior Classic All-Star Game. Walking around Centene right now is really electric. Is our mics. Hopefully that's not going off.
Sure.
Yeah, no kidding. Hopefully nobody's getting shocked. Walking around Centene, I've already, I've gone out twice now, and I was stopped once by a former Coast Guard member. I was stopped once by an Air Force member. I love how many branches of the military are here participating, and I feel like you guys feed off of that as well, and you're competitive, yet you guys all keep the bigger picture in mind, too, which is that you guys got one mission, which is to just put on an absolute great tournament.
No, absolutely, because we the guys and gals that are here that are playing, they deserve this. So for us, it's really not about the hockey. Hockey is the tool.
Yeah.
So, we say that we serve and support veterans through the sport of hockey. We've had people tell us that, hey, this saved my life. This is the closest thing I've felt since my time in the military.
Wow.
And they've really felt like they're more, normal. Just because you go from, especially folks that have been in, 5, 10, 20 years, and now all of a sudden you're a civilian, you have that transition. That's hard.
Sure.
Yes.
And so to be able to put on something like this and have a good weekend like this, and, it's almost like, we joke about it being almost like a deployment, because you'll come to, we travel all around the country for tournaments like this, and we'll go and everybody has a great time. We get to know each other, and then we come back home and it's kind of like, when can we do that again?
Yeah. Sure. Nathan, you brought up something about, these men and women deserving this. Can you shed a little light on that? Because there might be people listening right now that have watched the tournament and they love the tournament, or they don't know about that. So when you say they deserve it, I know there's a little bit of a backstory there too.
Sure, absolutely. So what Warrior Hockey is, so USA Hockey put on this program, and we have nonprofits like ours all across the country. And so to be a part of this program, you need to be somebody that served in the military, have some sort of VA disability rating. So you have something you're going from, because this is traditional hockey. It's not sled hockey. Sled hockey is awesome. And if you've ever tried that, that'll about kill you. I have no idea how they do it. But for us, we're playing traditional hockey, and guys and people from the outside might look and say, well, they're fine. They're playing hockey. They don't realize the issues, the stressors, the things that we are all going through, the hidden scars, so to speak. So to be able to put on an event like this and just get, people to be able to more or less come out of their shell.
Right.
And that's why I feel like they're deserving of it. I mean, we really, we jokingly say we get to be big kids, especially because our organization, we get to wear the Blue Note. We're partnering with the Blues. We're partnering with the Blues alumni. We've got they put us in contact. We have an awesome partnership with Boeing and everything else, who's an awesome local business. We're just lucky. That's the only way I can put it. And to be able to pass that on, and because our organization is one of the strongest in the country, we're able to put on an event like this and bring in, because a lot of these programs are a lot smaller than ours.
If there are other veterans that are interested in participating in this, is there somewhere that they can go to get more information?
Yes, they can. So we have a website and the social. So our website is stlblueswarriors.com.
Yes.
I had to ask the question. It's saved in my favorites, so I don't have to type it in anymore.
We totally get it.
And they can go there and they can fill out an application. We are a 501c3, and we have 5 active teams. Plus we have folks on the wait list. But even with folks on the wait list, just because the alumni coach us and we have all this stuff and we can only do so much, we still get our wait listers involved and everything else. So please don't let that. If you're listening right now, don't let that keep you from going out and filling out an application. We'd love to have you.
All right, so tonight, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, but I think that we're going to see. I think we're going to see a lot of goals.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is coming from the goaltender.
He means on their end towards the other goaltender. That's what he's referring to.
That's right. You're exactly right. The other end, not my end, okay? There will be no goals there.
There you go.
Nice.
But I think it's going to be good. It'll be fun and competitive. I think we're going to probably see some shenanigans out there on the ice. We usually do.
Yeah.
And then everybody will get together and have a party afterwards.
That's awesome.
It's perfect. It winds up being a perfect night, right, Drew?
Oh, it's great. Yeah. Last year was awesome. I think Cam Jansen threw his gloves down with one of our players. So
that honestly sounds like Cam. Yeah, that sounds like Cam. Cam used to do some shows here, and he always used to say the same thing after each show. He used to take off the headset, and he goes, "I'm so sorry, I'm just sweaty." And he just put it down and be like a bucket of sweat. And then one time we realized he didn't have his headphones plugged in. And we were like, Cam, the jack's right there, man. He goes, I was wondering why I couldn't hear anything. Cam is an absolute beaut, as you guys know. We love him.
It was probably loud enough you could hear him anyway.
I'm sure, too. Absolutely. All right, so before we let you go, Super Bowl Sunday, who do we got? Nathan?
I'm gonna take Chiefs in a close one.
Okay. Drew?
49ers.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got one Niners, one. You guys got it covered. One of you guys are going to win. So
we planned that.
There you go, Nathan. Awesome stuff.
Thank you
Drew,
so much.
thank you so much for joining us and
no problem.
doing, hosting the Gateway Warrior Classic All-Star Game. I know it's going to be a fantastic night down here at Sensing Community Ice Center, but thank you guys. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll dive into more stuff next here in the Fast Line on 101 ESPN.
We've got your chance to win a pair of passes to the 2024 State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Men's Basketball Tournament, hitting the court at Enterprise Center March 7th through March 10th. March begins here with the Arch Madness of the annual MVC Tournament, celebrating 30 years at Enterprise Center. All session and single session tickets are on sale now. Get all the details and get entered to win those free tickets for Arch Madness right now, either at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app.
can now watch 101 ESPN live on our Air Alliance Team Studio Cams. Catch every show live on our YouTube channel or at 101ESPN.com. 101 ESPN Studio Cams.
Presented by the Air Alliance Team Heating and Cooling. Getting the job done quickly, correctly, 100% of the time.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
Under 50 hours to go for Super Bowl 58. I'm Bradford Bruns, and this SportsCenter update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Chiefs and 49ers square off on Sunday at 5:37 precisely for the Lombardi Trophy. 101 ESPN has pregame coverage beginning at 4 o'clock. These same teams went head-to-head 4 years ago, with KC prevailing 31-20. Patrick Mahomes was named the MVP then. He has yet to throw an interception this postseason. Hockey, St. Louis and Buffalo meet tomorrow on the East Coast. Right now, or about 20 minutes ago, the note activated Kasperi Kapanen from injured reserve. He last dressed on January 15th. The SportsCenter update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. The Blues have activated Kasperi Kapanen from injured reserve. That was according to Doug Armstrong, who made the announcement today. Kapanen has missed the past 7 games due to lower body injury. He's logged 13 points, 4 goals, 9 assists in 42 games for the Blues this season. I think that this is a player that, while his absence, you may say, they didn't necessarily feel his absence because they had that 5-game winning streak before they lost to Columbus. This is still one of your faster players. This is part of your secondary scoring. I like that the Blues, they're not anywhere close to full strength, but this is a step at least in that direction. So I love that Kasperi Kapanen's coming off of IR tonight. We'll see if he gets in the lineup tomorrow against Buffalo.
I'm just interested to see what this team looks like overall in the second half. If they can continue to build upon what they did at the, I say second half, but
everybody
All-Star.
knows, yeah.
Who knows?
You're gonna have the guy that technically, technical Tom's
technical Tommy Edmond here.
Yep.
I just heading out of the All-Star break, like these first two games, in my opinion, are crucial. They set the tone for what you're about to experience coming up. You have some tough games coming up. So if you can get in the right mind frame against Buffalo, against Montreal, I think that sets them up to play good hockey down the stretch. But these first 2 games are going to show me and show everyone what type of team we're about to see here in the second half.
I just want to see this team, guys, play that it's not just consistent across the board when it comes to whether or not they're winning or losing, right? That's obviously important. I want to see them play consistently against every single type of opponent.
Yes.
Buffalo or Montreal or Columbus. The ups and downs, they have beaten some heavy hitters this year.
Right.
They have beaten Tampa Bay. They have beaten Colorado. They have beaten, Tampa? I said Tampa. Boston.
Math.
Didn't they beat Boston?
Latin? Yes.
Yeah.
No, they lost. They lost in overtime.
Should have beat Boston. Refs got in the way.
No.
But they've beaten some top tier teams this year. But then we've seen them lose to Columbus multiple times. We've seen them lose to the Blackhawks, the Sharks. I want to see consistency across the board regardless of the opponent, because then you go from like this, we played up to our competition, or we felt, we're a victim because we were playing 2 good teams, but we also took our foot off the gas. No, you can be in a power position when you play consistently against every single type of opponent.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, right?
What's your deal?
Well, no, I don't have my glasses. That's clearly my number one problem.
We can do the...
okay, well...
Or those glasses are like the 2-4.
Oh, yeah, the
2-4.
Yeah, no. What you see is a team that when a team is inconsistent like that, it's because they're not really good, or they're not as good. They're a middle of the pack type of team right now.
Team. You watch your mouth.
So now it's just okay to get in.
In this case, absolutely. You didn't make the playoffs last year, and you play in a stacked division.
Oh, and the division,
in a stacked conference.
The division matters now.
It matters for the Cardinals too. The division stinks. You should win it.
If you want them to, I don't know whose that is.
Yeah, I don't know if it's me or you.
It's Shockey.
Okay, there we go.
Jeremy Shockey. Speaking of tight
Jeremy
end.
Shockey. What a reference. Jeremy Shockey.
Interesting how we can just go off the rails so easily.
Welcome to the fast lane, Carey. Welcome to the fast lane.
Well, no, when you're an inconsistent team, this is what you get. You get the ups and downs. And so if they have aspirations of being a playoff team, and not a playoff team that's one and done, a team that can actually, make some noise in the playoffs, then that consistency you're going to have to see that in the second half, air quotes. You're going to have to see guys show up night in and night out. You can't have a 1-0 loss to a Columbus team right before you go to the All-Star break. That's the bad Blues. Mm-hmm. That's the team that is not giving effort the entire game. That's the team that we saw earlier in the season that part of the reason that Craig Berube got fired, because you don't know if they're going to show up for 20 minutes of the game, 40 minutes, but they definitely weren't showing up for 60. So that's what you saw earlier in the season. And I think that last game, whether it was, mine had already checked out, which should not have happened when you're trying to make a playoff push. That part of that team there cannot show up in the second half. The team that shows up needs to be the team that fought back and won games in Calgary and won games in Vancouver and Seattle and was up, I believe, against Calgary and gave up the lead. Or were they down against Calgary and came back in that game? One or the other. Mm-hmm. It was either there or Vancouver. The team that does not fold, whether they're up by a few goals and the other team ties it, or they're down by a few goals and they need to climb out of it. That's what we saw during that run. Mm-hmm. And if you expect them to make a playoff push, you're going to have to see more of those games where you're winning 3-2, 2-1, a 1-0 shutout. Like, you're going to have those games to have a team that can actually make a push in the second half.
I think what bothers me is, sometimes the mindset that this team has. If you look at some of, the games heading into a break, you look at the Thanksgiving game, or around that time, you played Nashville, terrible game. You lost, 8-3?
Right.
Then you played Chicago, I believe it was either on New Year's or around Christmas, and they didn't lose that game. I believe they actually came back and won that game.
That was Connor Bedard Michigan game.
Yes.
The Michigan goal.
That was a rough start to that game, though. Not ready to play, right? Mm-hmm. You play against Columbus. You're heading into your All-Star break, not ready to play. This is a mindset thing. I understand what their roster is. I know what their roster is as a fan, and I'm okay with that, right? No, I'm not okay with it. I want it to be better.
I understand what you're saying.
I'm all right with that, but if you don't have the guys, but that's whatever. Make sure the guys, though, have the right mind frame and the right mindset, because you can win games like that. That's the whole inconsistent thing that they have going on, because their mindset is not consistent.
That's the part that's most frustrating, though.
Yes.
When you see them play in games where they beat Vancouver or they beat some of the better teams, and you say, whoa, this team is really damn good. Mm-hmm. And then they show up the next night, and you're like, what the hell am I watching?
Completely different team.
I know I don't. I know I didn't play hockey, but I think it should be better.
Right.
It should be better than this.
Yeah.
More effort, I think.
Something's off.
Yeah. That's the part that is infuriating when you're a Blues fan watching this team and what has been. And so, second half, guys got to come prepared with it, ready to roll every single night if they want to make the playoffs and if they want to have a say in the playoffs.
Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. We started talking about the Blues here because the Blues have activated Kasperi Kapanen from injured reserve. So just a quick note on the Blues there and Kasperi Kapanen. Let's do some fun with player props.
Ooh.
Guys like some player props?
I would love it.
Fun with player props. Next on 101 ESPN.
Tomorrow, college basketball is on ESPN. Kansas and Baylor tip-off at 5. Your home for the NCAA is 101 ESPN.
Hey, I know you've got a busy weekend coming up, but if you have been somebody that has been in the market for a new vehicle, make one trip out to Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum this weekend. You will not regret it. In fact, start tonight, okay? You got everybody down for the night. You're feeling good. Maybe you pop up on the laptop or your cell phone. Check out AutoCentersNissan.com. They have over 700 vehicles, new Nissans and pre-owned and different makes and models as well, on their website, because that's how many they have on their lots at Auto Centers Nissan. That's right, one location out in Herculaneum, so that tonight when you pick out, 3 vehicles that you're interested in, certain colors and makes and models, certain price ranges, and then go test drive that vehicle tomorrow. They've got the best financing department of any dealership you're going to find. Auto Centers Nissan also gives you the 30-day return promise within 30 days. If you want to bring the vehicle back for any reason, they will give you a refund, and they also have the lifetime complimentary warranty on all new Nissans. Check them out in Herculaneum, but start off at AutoCentersNissan.com.
Winter has officially made itself known in St. Louis. Do you have storm damage from tree limbs falling? Maybe your gutters have pulled off the house because of ice buildup. Call Gutter Pros and Exteriors for a free estimate. A free gutter cleanout is included with every purchase, saving you hundreds of dollars. Visit gutterpros.com to learn more and fill out an estimate request form. Gutter Pros and Exteriors provides a no high-pressure sales approach to help you with all your gutter needs. Gutter Pros and Exteriors. Water goes where we tell it.
Back to more exclusive Blues talk. 101 ESPN is live from the Centene Community Ice Center. Brought to you by Bud Light and E&B Granite. Bernie Federko's only choice for granite countertops, cabinets, and flooring.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We're live from Centene Community Ice Center ahead of tonight's Gateway Warrior Classic All-Star Game. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter, and with Super Bowl 58 right around the corner. Let's do some Super Bowl prop plays. Fun with props, we'll call this, all right? So, which player you guys want to start off with? Marsh, throw somebody out there.
Patrick Mahomes.
Carey, throw somebody out there.
Legacy.
All right.
Super Bowl.
Patrick Mahomes. According to our partners at FanDuel, over under 262.5 for total yards. 262.5. Yes, for total yards for Patrick Mahomes.
I'm going to go. I want to go under so bad.
Why is that? Why are you going against our guy?
262 is a good number. Marshy, what do you think?
I think it's over.
Really?
Total yards, he'll scramble and he'll throw the ball.
No, just passing.
yards.
Oh, you said total yards.
Did I say total?
Did you say passing?
I meant passing.
Just
yards.
passing?
Just passing. 262.5.
Whatever. Take the over.
So he threw for 241 against Baltimore, 215 against Buffalo, 262 against Miami. He hasn't gotten over this number since facing the Patriots back in, I don't know, week 16 or whatever it was. He really hasn't cleared this number too many times. The safe play is probably under, so I'll take under 262.5.
You're riding with me now, okay?
I'm going to take the over because you're taking the under. And because of the moon, Anthony. Don't forget the moon.
Well, the moon only factors in the win-loss record, right?
I just think that he's going to have a big game.
All right. Brock Purdy, over-under at FanDuel. 246.5 for passing yards. 246.5 for Brock Purdy. This is the one I would go over on. Because I see them trailing. I see them having to put the ball in the air a little bit more.
They're not going to have success passing the ball against that defense. I'm going to go under on that one as well.
He threw for 267 against Detroit. No, a bad Detroit team.
Down by 45 points. He didn't have a choice.
252 against Green Bay.
He's down by 43 points. He didn't have a choice.
He only threw for 230 against Washington, which is honestly a sin. 255 against Baltimore. So in his last 3 big games, he's cleared this number. And again, I think they're going to be trailing, so I'll take the over.
I'm going under
246.5 on Brock Purdy passing yards.
Under on both of them.
Marsh?
I agree with Carey. I'm taking the under on that one.
Okay.
I think CMC has a big game, and he's going to get the majority of the snaps.
There you go.
He'll just be rushing that ball all over the field.
Yeah.
So then let's go to Christian McCaffrey then. 89.5. This number, I think, is dropped.
It was in the 90s.
It was like 91.5 or something like that.
It was 92 at one point.
So that's, I don't know, that's a little...
I'm going to go 89. I'm going to go over.
89.5, so he's got to get to 90. For Christian McCaffrey, rushing yards. It's just rushing yards.
Over.
So not only, because we can all agree he's going to have an impact, but do you think he's going to have a significant impact?
I think...
Yeah. 135 yards rushing.
I was just going to say
135.
127.
I think he goes over 120.
And you're picking
127. Yeah, I'm still picking Anthony. We've been through this. You've been yelling it for the last 3 weeks. Cheese,
Red Kingdom.
And I am right there with you. I just have not been singing the song, sir.
Well,
but I'm singing it in my head as you said, so I'm your teammate. I'm supporting you.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
Teammate.
Got you.
Can I ask you, teammate, a question?
Yes, sir.
I feel as though in how you're talking about this game, and we've been talking now for 5 straight days about this game in a variety of ways and a variety of angles.
Yeah.
I feel as though that you are actually siding with the Niners based on the matchup and all that, but you just principle-wise are siding, are not going to pick against Mahomes.
You are correct.
Because everything that I'm hearing out of you, I mean, I have
100%.
Okay, thank you. So I'm not crazy.
No, you are correct, 100%. Everything in me has me feeling like the 49ers have a better. If you run the football, you should win, and they run the football pretty much better than everyone. But the other team has a guy named Patrick Mahomes, and I vowed to never, under any circumstance, bet against him. So I will not. I just said it 2 weeks ago. How the hell am I going to go back on it now? He just burned me on it his last game. I refuse to go against it.
Carey, I just appreciate the fact that you, because I'm listening to you talk about this matchup.
Listen.
And every time I feel like I'm getting pushback. I'm breaking down the Niners defense. I'm talking about Brock Purdy's struggles.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Steve Spagnuolo against this offense.
Awesome.
And you just keep pushing back and pushing back and pushing back. So you're just flat. This is a principal pick for you.
I am a man of my word. If I'm nothing else,
I appreciate that.
I will not go against Patrick Mahomes.
I appreciate that.
I never made that promise.
No, you
I
didn't.
never subscribed to any of that. I have a bold prediction here that will kind of go with a little bit of these props here.
Can I get to the CMC prop play real quick? Because I got some.
Get to that because it's about him.
Okay, so I like the over 89.5 rushing yards for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone over in 6 straight games following a win, and in 7 out of his last 8, he's rushed for at least 90 yards. In that span, he's rushed for 102.8 per game average.
Give me 127 plus.
Okay.
I could see.
Why not make it 185?
It's too much.
This just came to my brain, a vision of sorts.
Oh, boy.
Just, looking around the internet.
Talking to the moon and the stars.
Talking to the moon and the stars. I'm like Bear in the Big Blue House, baby.
There you go.
Most consecutive playoff games with a touchdown to start an NFL career. Terrell Davis, who was the last running back to win the MVP in the Super Bowl, has 7. Marcus Allen, 7. Christian McCaffrey is at 6. I could see McCaffrey having a Terrell Davis type game. A couple touchdowns, throw that in the anytime touchdown for CMC. Maybe even throw two touchdowns in that game. Definitely over 120 yards rushing. MVP CMC.
On the losing team.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Carey, for doing what you do. All right, what else you guys like? George Kittle. I'll throw out some statistics, okay? George Kittle, let me get the actual number here for everybody. George Kittle, receiving yards, 49.5. He has at least 50 yards receiving in 5 of his last 6 games against the top 10 defense, so it doesn't really matter what the defense has been. He's got 50 or more receiving yards in 5 of his last 7 games. He's averaged nearly 66 yards receiving. And in 5 of his last 7 games, when the Niners are favored, he's also had at least 50 receiving yards.
Yeah, George Kittle, when the Niners are looking really good, he's good for like one play that just busts out like a 40-yard reception.
Yeah.
And I could absolutely see that happening.
Uncovered,
and that could be one of those plays that turns the tide of the game, too. Maybe not so much like a touchdown turning the tide, but a game like that, maybe like a 3rd and long, and then you get a 40-yard play to George Kittle, who's wide open, and that gives the Niners some momentum, too. I could see that happening as well.
One more. Travis Kelce has at least 7 receptions because his over-under for receptions is 6.5. So he's going to have to get at least 7 catches.
Take it
on Sunday if you take the over.
Throw the ball to
Race.
No.
Travis Kelce, 7 or more receptions in 6 of his last 7 playoff games, and in 5 of his last 7 games after the Chiefs covered.
Marshy is thinking about it. He doesn't like it.
I think he's right at 6.
I mean, I could see it.
I think he's right at 6.
All of these numbers. Brad Thompson used to ask me this all the time. He said, everybody likes to play the over. Do they adjust the odds based on that? 100% yes. I think it's you.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it's you.
I don't know why it's doing that.
That's okay.
Yeah,
We don't know either.
It's not actually okay.
It's really not.
I had my guy.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. We're going to tell you how many prospects were in the top 100 for Keith Law that were Cardinals-related prospects, how that compares to the NL Central, and whether or not it matters for their future. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Be a part of the show. Text the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation text line at 314-399-9646 on 101 ESPN. sports source in St. Louis that matters. WXOS, WXOS HD1 East St. Louis, 101 ESPN. Two pros and one average show. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
I'll turn on my mic here. Live from Centene Community Ice Center. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 502. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We're here tonight ahead of the 7 o'clock puck drop of the Gateway Warrior Classic All-Star Game. That's going to be the Warriors versus the Blues alumni. Should be a fun night if you're down at Centene. A lot of people enjoying the tournament. The Gateway Warrior team here did a remarkable job once again of putting on an outstanding tournament. The Athletic, Keith Law, we've mentioned him a couple of times. Keith Law kind of had his farm system rankings come out and his top 100 list come out. And I know how a lot of people feel about Keith Law around here because of his previous thoughts on Yadier Molina and the Hall of Fame and all that. This is just a kind of a backdrop to have a bigger conversation. So if you focus too much on Keith Law, you're going to miss out on what we want to discuss in terms of a big picture approach here, okay? But we are going to use his prospect rankings as the basis here of our conversation. The Cardinals, guys, and you guys already know this, they have 3 players on Keith Law's top 100 list. Mm-hmm. One of them is their projected starting shortstop, which is Mason Wynn. So Mason Wynn's still considered a prospect. Jordan Walker is not. So Jordan Walker, you won't hear me say that name because he's no longer a prospect. Played too many games last year. Mason Wynn, however, cup of coffee at the end of the year, did not qualify in terms of not being a prospect. So he's 16th overall. Victor Scott II is 55th. Keith Law's got him number 55 on his top 100 list. He was unranked last year, by the way.
I want to see this guy in a Cardinal uniform sooner rather than later.
Speed, defense, we'll get to him. Tink Hence is number 73, and that's it. That's all the Cardinals have. Now, again, Jordan Walker is up. If he wasn't, then he would certainly be on this list as well. If you're thinking about it just from the NL Central, the Cardinals have the fewest. They have the fewest players in the top 100 of the NL Central teams. Mm-hmm. They have 3. That ranks dead last. The Pirates have 4 top 100 players. The Reds have 5. The Cubs have 5. And the Brewers top the NL Central with 6 top 100 prospects in Keith Law's rankings. Now, one of those players they just acquired in the Corbin Burns deal, so you got to factor that in too. But nonetheless, every other team has more top prospects, again, according to Keith Law.
No wonder they don't like this guy, huh?
Well, again, let's not focus on him specifically, but the Cardinals farm system overall. You guys seem to be both excited about Victor Scott.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited too, but he's not the player I'm most excited about on this list. And that would be Tink Hence.
Okay.
The Cardinals have got to develop and groom top-end starters. We can have a conversation all the time about, well, why don't they spend? Why don't they do this? Why don't you trade? How about you develop your next damn ace?
I agree.
Develop that stud. I don't care if he's a first-round pick, a fourth-round pick like Spencer Strider was for the Braves, or an international signing. Develop top-end arms. You really want to be a World Series contender? It's not necessarily about spending. It is about developing premium pitching.
I agree.
And then going from there. So Tink Hence is the guy I'm most excited about, but I certainly don't knock you guys for being fired up about Victor Scott.
Well, if you have a young player that is projected to be potentially really good, you have to nurture that. You have to develop that. And I think that's something that good organizations do really well. And you see them come through the farm system and then have lengthy careers with that specific team, and then they hopefully re-sign or go on to greener pastures and get more money in other places. But the fact that you have these young players, Mason Wynn, I told you all earlier that I think he's going to be a superstar, especially on the defensive end. He to me is something that they have needed. I think Tommy Edman has done a great job. I think Brendan Donovan has done a great job. They're is Fast Lane fine?
Fast Lane fine.
There you go.
Yeah,
they are.
They're fine.
But I think that Mason Wynn is going to be really good. I think that Tink Hence is also going to be really good. And I talked about, and Victor Scott, but I talked about the how I envision, and I know you disagreed with this, but I envision younger players, if they are going to be starters at some point, having them have a role and learning how to be a pro, because learning to be a pro is a job in itself. Like you can be as good as you can be at your position. You can be a great pitcher. You can be a great basketball player, football, quarterback, whatever the case is. But if you don't know how to be a pro, the only way you learn how to be a pro is, one, be a pro, become a professional, and then be around other pros, other guys that have done it that can pull you along and say, hey, no, don't do that. Do this. Do this. Do this. Stay away from that. Follow me. Let me show you how this is going to help you be a better professional baseball player.
I disagree with that. I love that take.
You disagree with the fact that they could start in the bullpen and then become starters.
Oh, no, I'm with you on that.
I thought you did. Was it?
Yeah,
maybe
no.
it was Jamie. Might have been Jamie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We look alike.
You do.
Yeah.
Jamie, thank you.
No, I'm with you on that.
I think that's the best way. If Tink Hence, if McGreevy, Graceffo, if you're trying to round out your bullpen and you know these guys have really good stuff, why do you need to go sign a guy that may be here for a year and his stuff may not be as good as theirs, even though they're younger? Give them reps, give them opportunities in non-high leverage moments and allow them to play in games and then build up that credit to say, you know what, here's a high leverage moment for you.
We've seen that before. Yeah.
That's what I think the Cardinals should do with their prospects. Develop them, give them an opportunity to be in the bullpen, and then if you are elite or special and you are a starter, stretch that arm out and then become a starter the following year.
We saw that with Adam Wainwright.
Yes.
We saw that with Lance Lynn. We've seen that with other Cardinals players. No, it definitely wasn't me that said that, but I get it. I get it, Carey.
Yeah.
All us white guys, we all look the same to you. Unbelievable.
Thanks, Marsh.
I've already had that conversation today.
Unbelievable.
So I'm looking at Tink Hence, and this past season, he never went more than 5 innings. Does that give you any concern that if he is going to be, I know we were just talking about putting him in those situations and then stretching him out, does that concern you at all that he is not going more than 5 innings in the minors? Or are you okay with that because you don't want to put too much stress on him? You don't want to tax his arm? Like, what's your thought process there?
That's a good question, Marsh. I'm okay with it at 21. You know, that is an area that Carey, I think, Carey, you're kind of making this point when you're just talking about allowing them to become a professional, right?
Right.
These guys have to have an opportunity to develop. I'm as impatient as any fan when it comes to wanting to see a young prospect. Let him go. Let's see, let him fly. Let's see if we get lightning in a bottle and all that. We have got to take a step back and realize that players develop at their own pace.
Correct.
Not everybody's going to be Juan Soto and coming in the league at 19, 20 years old and putting on a damn show. Not everybody's going to be Ronald Acuna Jr., same deal, or Bryce Harper at 21 years old. Guys are going to develop differently. All I know about Tink Hence is that, he was this slight 17-year-old, and now at 21, when he came in the league, 21 years old, he's got an electric arm. He's developing other pitches. Does he, him not pitching deep into game, he's got to learn how to pitch. There's a difference between throwing and pitching, and we've seen guys come up and just throw, and that's it, and they don't learn the craft. They can learn how to pitch deeper into games if they're around the right veterans, like Carey was saying.
So here's another question. We look at Blake Snell. Would you consider Blake Snell to be an ace, or?
I would say Blake Snell's an ace, yes.
But he doesn't go deep into games.
True.
So do you consider some of those guys who don't eat innings, they can be aces?
I consider him a today's ace.
Okay.
Man.
I don't know if I like that. I want my pitchers going 7 innings.
I agree.
At the bare minimum.
I don't want Tink. Yeah, I don't want Tink Hence to be a 5 and dive guy at all. So you asked me about ace.
Unless he's Blake Snell, like that type of pitcher.
I think
if you're going to put up Blake Snell numbers, if you're going to have an ERA, what was it, below 2 last year?
But doesn't
that
eventually lead to stress on everything else? Like, doesn't your bullpen get stressed out every 5th day? Or and then if another pitcher has a bad day the following day, now your bullpen is taxed because your starter is only going to give you 5 innings. I think that's The bigger problem is
what
it does to the entire team when you have a pitcher that only gives you 5 innings, and now you got relievers throwing 3 or 4 days in a row that are a little gassed.
Yeah.
Why? Well, Blake only gives me 5 every day,
right.
every 5th day. I know I got to have my stuff ready to go on the days where he's pitching, and you hope that, like I said, the day before or the day after, the pitcher didn't have a blow up as well, because I think it just leads to more issues down the line, and we saw that from this Cardinals team last year. We saw it. They talked about the lack of flexibility with opportunities to send guys down because of contract. They couldn't send them down. They had to play the guys that were here. They're tired. Why are they tired? Well, the starters ain't giving you much.
Right.
Why ain't the starters giving you much? I don't know.
Yep.
We got 3 new ones.
No, Carey, but Marsh, you were asking about like innings and stuff like that. By the way, Blake Snell had a 2.25 ERA. The problem with Blake Snell a year ago is he had 99 walks. He had a career-high 99 walks. That's why he didn't pitch deep into games last year. He had a high pitch count early. That's not pitching to me. No, I think the Cardinals should develop the mindset of our starters, they want to go 9. I know that's not realistic to have everybody go through 9. You have that mentality, though. We're going to go 9, and we're going to develop guys that think through the game. From the first pitch to the last pitch, they are pitching. They're going to have something in reserve for later on. They're going to pick their spots. I do not want to see this trend of 5 and die for the Cardinals. I don't.
I don't know if younger players even really know how to pitch. They know how to throw, but I don't know if they know how to pitch, and that's not their fault. That is the people that are wanting these types of players, and then it translates to the coaches down at the youth level. Like, these players are being brought up.
That's up to you. You're the organization. You set the tone.
Right, exactly.
We look for players that understand when they come to St. Louis, they're going to learn how to pitch. They're not going to just throw. It's not going to be up to you. If we draft you, it's because we think you can pitch deep into games. We don't care what the A's are doing or the Rays are doing or the White Sox are doing. You're here in St. Louis, and set the frickin' tone, man. Our guys pitch deep. Set the tone. We're going to pitch deep into games, and we're going to play suffocating defense, and we're going to get some timely hitting. Like, have an identity as an organization, top to bottom. Who are you?
I don't know.
Where am I?
Where are we? We're at the Centene Community Ice Center right here at E&B Granite Studio.
Right. And coming up next, our official predictions for Super Bowl 58. Carey's going to be tested here because after a full week of telling us how the 49ers clearly should win this game, is he going to go back on his promise to me?
Nope.
And Red Kingdom. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Blues hockey can be heard exclusively on 101 ESPN. Get the info you need before and after every Blues game with the First Community pre- and post-game show driven by Clement Ford. And catch every Blues home game from the First Community Terrace.
Bring out the Zamboni!
Blues talk more often. 101 ESPN is live from the Centene Community Ice Center. Brought to you by Bud Light and E&B Granite. Bernie Federko's only choice for granite countertops, cabinets, and flooring.
All right, it's time. Time for our Super Bowl 58 predictions.
And we've been waiting on.
Yeah, we have, Carey. Now, Carey, I want you to go first because, as I pointed out a couple of segments ago, I don't know why it took me this long to figure out, but we have been doing 5 shows now, and every time that we bring up the Super Bowl matchup, if somebody were just listening to you, not knowing the pact you and I made following the AFC Championship game, they would assume that you are all about them Niners this Sunday.
So when I'm watching this game on Sunday, I am really thinking and looking to see how well the 49ers run the football. I talked to you about it. The Kansas City Chiefs are great defensively, but not necessarily great in the run game. You can run the football on them. And what does San Francisco do really well? They run the football. CMC led the league in rushing. They will run the ball as well as they choose to, and as many times as they choose to. On the other side, conversely, Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. You got a great quarterback. Probably go down as the all-time quarterback in NFL history one day. Correct?
Correct.
But you got Bosa and you got Chase Young on the opposite ends, right?
You got Bosa for sure,
and Chase Young. He's there now. Whether or not he shows up, and I think he will
dresses.
I think he will have a fire lit up under him. And I think he will get after the quarterback. And those guys do a fantastic job, right?
One of them does.
Well, they do. And then they have the linebackers who are create a mismatch or can keep it from being a mismatch versus Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
With all that said, you hear the 49ers are a team of destiny. They are a team that has been working hard. They will run the football. Kyle Shanahan, he still remembers that 28-3 debacle, as do you, Anthony. Actually, you forgot
I did.
about it.
What are you talking about?
You forgot about it.
I did.
Don't worry about it. With all of that being said, 27-24, Kansas City Chiefs.
All I heard was a breakdown of how San Francisco probably should win this game.
And they're still going to lose because why?
15.
That's all you need to know.
All right.
And I told you I wasn't going back on my word. And I ain't.
You're right. Marsh, would you like to go, or you want me to have my breakdown here?
No, I'll go.
All right.
We all know who you're choosing.
No, you don't.
So this game, like, it profiles, when you look at it, both teams, it profiles to be a really good game, right? We're trying to go back and forth. Who's going to win? You know, we don't know. Obviously, you do, but
I do. So does the moon.
The moon
clearly
has lost one time against the Buffalo Bills, actually, back in, I believe, it's 2021. So the moon is 19-1, so it's not undefeated by any means.
Still 19-1.
I look at these teams and I want this game to be a close game. I think everyone does. They want it, unless you're a fan of either team. I just want a really tight game that goes down to like the final minute of the game, like the final drive. Like, that's exciting. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get that. I think it's going to be a 24-13 game. Shout out Taylor Swift, number 13. Niners beat the Chiefs in a boring Super Bowl.
Oh.
Wow.
Niners
beat the Chiefs 19 what?
24-13.
24-13? You have the Niners beating the Chiefs?
He's never seen Patrick Mahomes play.
Have you ever seen Patrick Mahomes play football? Does he get hurt in the first half?
Is he not there?
Is he hobbled? Because he was hobbled last year. He still did fantastic work.
Anthony, this is just my prediction. I think CMC gets 2 touchdowns, runs for over 120 yards, and wins the MVP.
The MVP. Carey?
Wow.
Mahomes, your MVP?
And give me Brandon Ayuk on the other touchdown.
Christian McCaffrey is my MVP for the losing team.
All right.
No, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. This will probably be the score at halftime.
Yeah.
Probably. Marsh is like, just keeping that right there.
Yeah, right there.
Got it right where you want it. All right. Now, this is what's really going to happen, boys.
Me too.
I have seen this San Francisco team compete I had the San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens in the Super Bowl preseason.
I did too.
Okay? I was a fool then. I was a fool after the AFC Championship game.
Who did you have winning, by the way?
I had the Ravens.
Okay, so it's all...
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's a wash now.
It's a wash, Paulie. A wash.
I realized it right as I was saying it. Okay. I was a fool after the before the AFC title game. I wised up during the AFC Championship game.
What happened?
Carey and I both saw what was going on right in front of us. We once again disrespected the 15. This man, if he's playing a football game that's meaningful, will win said game, provided he has an offensive line. The one time he lost the Super Bowl, nobody blocked for him. I mean, nobody.
Who's injured on the Chiefs?
Joe Tooney. Joe Tooney's going to be just fine. Don't you worry about it.
He's got a back injury. He may or may not play.
He's going to be fine.
He's going to play.
Steve Spagnuolo is going to put together one of the best defensive game plans that you're going to see. I don't know if he takes Christian McCaffrey and neutralizes him. I don't know if he takes out some of these other players, or if he just hones in on Brock Purdy like he did Lamar Jackson.
He's going to not have to neutralize CMC. He's going to have to neuralize him and make sure he forgets how to play football, Anthony.
Marsh, I know you're a big fan of the Jurassic World series.
I'm a fan of the Jurassic Park series.
Jurassic World is a different?
Well, they're in the same universe, right?
It's not.
But you know, you have Jurassic World, and then
They're
you have Jurassic
connected,
Park.
but
They're all connected. The
right.
Jurassic World, the third one was terrible.
Third one, solid. And in that third one, they strapped laser beams basically to these raptors' foreheads so they can hone in.
Raptors with freaking laser beams.
So they can hone in on who they're trying to attack. That's Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is going to be the victim here. They're gonna crush this. Chris Jones is going to have himself a monster Super Bowl. These guards for San Francisco who were constantly pushed back throughout the NFC Championship game, hammered by Chris Jones in the Super Bowl. It is going to be an absolute work of art for Steve Spagnuolo and his defense.
What's your score?
The second. Come on,
I'm
man.
sorry. I thought you were.
I'm pontificating my
I'm sorry. I apologize.
my prediction
I didn't mean to cut you
here.
off.
He's
Continue.
painting a picture.
Holy
I do apologize.
smokes.
I thought you were done.
The secondary
You were hoping
for
he was
Kansas.
done.
Oh, go ahead. Continue.
How dare you?
2 hours later.
This is you know what? Chiefs Kingdom is appreciating this right now, okay?
You are them and they are you.
I don't
Thank
even
you.
know if they want you cheering
I
for
don't
them.
think they do.
You know what, Marsh?
I don't think they do.
Some people say one thing,
But they mean something
but they
else.
mean something else. And I know that Chief Kingdom, they mean we're so glad that this guy finally jumped on our bandwagon.
You know,
Steve
you're right.
Spagnuolo is going to put
was
together a
cool
great
now.
defensive game plan. Chris Jones is going to be an absolute monster. That secondary is going to come up with not one, not two, but 3 interceptions of Brock Purdy, or at least turn him over 3 times.
Okay.
He's going to be on his back consistently, looking out his ear hole, and Patrick Mahomes is going to take advantage of a bunch of 3-and-outs.
Okay.
Kansas City 30, San Francisco 17.
Whoa.
That's your final.
All right.
Travis Kelce, MVP. Him,
Wow.
him and T Swifty there, right there in the middle, making out on the Super Bowl logo after he hoists the MVP.
All right, now.
All right, now.
Joe Tooney is out, actually.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Sorry. It's a pec issue.
It's not going to matter.
Those things are kind of hard to block when you got a pectoral.
They'll overcome it.
Yeah.
All right, there's your Super Bowl prediction. So, Marsh, go ahead.
Yeah, the San Francisco 49ers winning Super Bowl 58. 24-13.
Gary.
I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, actually, I have Patrick Mahomes winning
There you go.
Super Bowl 58.
The Mahomies.
The homies. 27-24.
Yeah, and I've got the Chiefs winning 30-17.
Because of
Patrick Mahomes, Steve Spagnuolo, Chris Jones,
Patrick Mahomes.
Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice,
Long as-
Isaiah
long as
Pacheco.
15 is on the team.
Don't forget MVS, your favorite player.
He's gonna be this weekend.
Don't you?
What?
MVS.
Why?
You don't need to mention him because if you have to throw, we won't.
He clinched the game for us.
Whoop-dee.
He clinched. I'm glad you caught that.
Oh man.
He clinched the game for us multiple times. He set us up perfectly in the second half against Buffalo, and then won the damn game last 2 weeks ago.
I hope he does it for us again.
I don't like your hope. I don't need your hope.
All right.
All right now.
All right.
Biggest question next on 101 ESPN.
Coverage of 101 ESPN is presented by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. GetJim.com. We want your insight and honest opinions on the world of sports. Use the mic drop feature in the 101 ESPN app. Say it and send it to us. Now in the App Store or Google Play.
All right, football fans, FanDuel has the perfect way for everyone to get in on the Super Bowl 58 action with a no-sweat same-game parlay. But when you bet on Super Bowl 58 on FanDuel, one game can mean a lot of wins. America's #1 sportsbook has all your favorite bets, like the money line and the spread, plus all sorts of prop bets. But, Carey, when it comes to some same-game parlay action, you can combine multiple wagers, multiple bets into one for an even bigger payday.
Well, that's what you have to love when you can combine those bets. Because here's the thing. You can take Isaiah Pacheco to score a touchdown, Christian McCaffrey to score a touchdown, Travis Kelce to go over 72.5, and that is a same-game parlay that could get you some money in your pocket. So start building your own or just bet the popular same-game parlay already made for you in America's #1 sportsbook. Just visit FanDuel.com/fast. If you don't already have an account, make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 and older, present in Illinois, minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hello, St. Louis. This is Sam Londoff, and for over 80 years, Johnny Londoff Chevrolet has been an automotive leader in the St. Louis area. Right, Dad?
Are you kidding me? I'm proud that we're selling vehicles to the third and fourth generations of many families.
When you buy a vehicle from our family, you can be sure to get the best price and the best service.
We want to continue the Londoff commitment to making the car buying experience fun.
So if you've never been or you just haven't been in a while, stop by and say hello or shop 24/7 at Londoff.com.
Johnny Londoff, the name you know, the dealer you can trust.
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
You might have heard Doug Voss and Safe Money Radio.
ESPN is everywhere. Wherever you go, we go. The 101 ESPN app in your App Store or Google Play. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Kapanen gets the call to return. I'm Bradford Bruns with your Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Tomorrow afternoon in Buffalo, the Blues will once again have the services of Kasperi Kapanen, the forward, activated in the 4 o'clock hour from injured reserve. He has missed the past 7 contests for St. Louis, which drops the puck at 12 p.m. on 101 ESPN. The following day, these airwaves also set to feature Super Bowl 58, Kansas City, San Francisco, doing battle in the big game for the second time in 4 years. D.N. Charles Omenihu is out. Sky Moore could dress on the Chiefs side. The Sports Center update is brought to you by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Are you kidding me?
Strap yourself in. You're in the fast lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN. It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, time for the biggest question of the day here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh.
All right, let's go back to the Super Bowl legacy question. Whose legacy is on the line this weekend? Now, I know we talked about this earlier. That led to who's better, Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. So we never really got to this question. But I'll just read off some names, and maybe we can just go through the line here. Well, let's go backwards, actually. Let's start off with Travis Kelce. Is his legacy on the line, whether he wins or whether the Chiefs win or lose the Super Bowl?
You know, let's do like a 1 to 10 type thing. 10, like legacy, big time on the line. Okay. 1, not. I'd put Travis Kelce's legacy at about a 2.
That's what I was thinking.
I was thinking 3, so right there.
There you go.
Yep.
Let's go with Andy Reid.
Okay, so he would have won what, 3, and and been to 4,
been to 5.
Don't forget the Eagles.
He went to 1 with the Eagles.
Right. So and that's right.
One.
He lost. Right.
Yeah.
He's lost. So he lost 1 with the Chiefs and the Eagles. I'm putting the Tampa Bay thing out of my mind because I was counting the Philadelphia appearance.
Mm-hmm.
But
you Chiefs fans must not count that Super Bowl.
That one.
Well, we did
COVID year.
We didn't have an offensive line.
Yeah.
And there was basically no fans, so it doesn't count. It's kind of like the Dodgers winning a World Series. It happened, but it didn't.
I don't know why the Dodgers have to take a straight shot, but okay.
They should. Dodgers always have to take a shot. Worthless.
What's your number?
I'm sorry. What are we doing? Andy Reid.
This is how we got off track last.
That's very true.
Who's the best mascot in the league?
I'll put this at an 8 because he has an opportunity to keep adding Super Bowl. I mean, we're talking about one of the best head coaches ever.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think that's again the number that I was thinking, around an 8. I don't think it's a 9. Yeah. And I don't think it's a 7.
If he loses, like,
but
he won't.
8 is a really good number.
I think the way that I look,
Kingdom.
Jeez.
No, Chiefs.
Chiefs Kingdom. The way that I look at this question is like, if they win, will it like make or break his legacy? And if they lose, like, I don't think it does either way. Like, Andy Reid is Andy Reid.
But you're adding to. I mean, you
can add to it for sure.
3, not 1, not 2, 3, and you're gonna have multiple opportunities. There's been reports that are like, yeah, this dude ain't retiring.
Right.
So
why would he?
He's got my homies.
Yeah. Play till he retires.
Mm-hmm.
Coach till he retires.
Let's go with Kyle Shanahan next.
10.
Yeah.
You have your
really?
Yeah, you have an opportunity. You could be a Super Bowl winning head coach.
And
I'm much lower.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like a 5.
He has his first, another opportunity. Given the history.
Yeah, but
he's criticized constantly.
Does it matter?
In
the grand scheme of things,
it shouldn't.
Like, does it affect our lives? Absolutely not.
I don't think. So when I think of, like, Jim Harbaugh, to me was a 10 in college football last year, this past season. Like, he needed to win that game because he's been in the big end, and Shanahan has as well. But it just felt like his failures were on a bigger scene, on a bigger stage.
That I agree with. Yeah, if we're going to compare those two.
I don't feel like Kyle Shanahan's legacy is at a 10. If he were to win, I don't feel like it's that important. I'm kind of meh.
Do you think if he was the head coach of that Falcons team that it would be different? But since he was the offensive coordinator,
think that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is because he was the OC. He wasn't the head coach. I mean, he had a part in it, but it doesn't fall on his lap. It falls on the head coach. So he's really only been the head coach of one team that's gone to a Super Bowl, and the quarterback he's not. I don't know where he is now.
He's probably hanging out with
Jimmy G doing
some
technically
adult
still
film stars.
He's still a Raider until the start of the league year.
Barely.
Let's look at Christian McCaffrey. How about him?
I think I'm kind of. This is where I fall into like the 5 range, where it's like, yeah, he'd be a Super Bowl winner, but if he loses, does that alter my opinion of Christian McCaffrey in his career? Absolutely not.
So I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to go 7 because I think it matters. When I'm looking at legacy, I'm not just looking at him being a Super Bowl winner. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at when it's time for him to be voted on for Hall of Fame. Rushing champ, check. Multiple time Pro Bowler, check. Offensive MVP, check. Super Bowl, check. Or no check.
Right.
So for me, yes, him more so. I know that's probably what for you.
It's just I was laughing because Carey, you and I have worked together for so long, right? You and I are so alike in so many different ways. Like listeners wouldn't know this because just the conversations that you and I have about life, like you and I are in lockstep. Like you and I are so similar. I did not realize how much we disagreed about football until you started on the fast lane. Like you and I just like naturally disagree about every damn topic. It is incredible. You and I are so close, so tight, like we just have the same brain. And so, but when it comes to football, we're just so apart. Yeah. It's hilarious.
All right.
I looked over and you're like, I think it's a little higher, Mike. Of course you do.
Well, now you do too.
Yeah. He played. I didn't.
All right. We got 2 more here. We got to talk about the quarterbacks. Let's go with Patrick Mahomes first.
Go ahead, Carey. I've got a number. I've got a number in mind. And
10 for me.
Okay.
Going 10. Just keep stacking that resume, man. Mm-hmm. Just keep piling on. And the more you have on there, when we get to, because his conversation is different. It's not, is he Hall of Fame? Is he first ballot? Is he worthy of getting in over someone else?
Yeah.
When Christian McCaffrey is on the list and there are other worthy Hall of Famers, that's a question.
Sure.
With Patrick Mahomes, the question is going to be, are you the greatest to ever do it?
He's chasing 12 right now.
He's chasing another, he's in a different, he's in a room by himself. Yeah, Deion said the Hall of Fame should have, Hall of Famers, and there should be another room for us other guys.
Yeah.
Like Patrick is trying to get into that other room.
My gold jacket doesn't look the same as your
my
gold
gold
jacket.
is a little different. I got a little something on the inside that when I open it up, I can go in there. Yeah, you don't have that. You can get in the building, but this extra room is for like
it's
Patrick's
like the graduates with the whatever they're
the tassel.
The valedictorians.
He's trying to get into that other room.
I was not one of them.
I know.
Yeah.
Me neither.
My cap and gown was just like most of you.
Just plain.
Just plain old. Cap. But I was thinking 7. But I understand where you're coming from. I do. I just think the guy's going to play for so long that he's going to have more opportunities. But to your point, Carey, you're chasing, and Marsh, you said it too. You're chasing 12. You're chasing the GOAT. So.
No, not the GOAT. He's just chasing.
You're chasing the GOAT.
I mean, let's not forget about like Joe Montana. He still exists.
He
still exists. He was also 4-0. Like Montana will always have that.
Yeah.
4 Super Bowls, 4 wins.
Joe Montana is like Kobe. Just gets skipped right over.
Yeah.
He didn't always until Brady won. What is it, 6 or
7?
7?
He's got 7.
No, I know, but
he's got 7.
At some point, it was like Brady. It didn't matter how many Super Bowl losses because he just had so many damn wins.
Just kept winning. Just win, baby.
All right, last one here. Brock Purdy. This one's probably the most interesting one, in my opinion.
Man, I'm going to say 2.
Really?
Wow.
You are in your second year. First opportunity in the Super Bowl. Obviously, got hurt last year. He's got time. And it's not a legacy thing for him there were no. Brock Purdy is probably the ultimate. When you talk about playing with house money, he is playing with house. He can't. I can't lose. How can he lose? He's a Mr. Irrelevant. He was one game away and a torn elbow from being in the Super Bowl potentially last year, and here he is in the Super Bowl now. He's playing with house money. He's going to get paid a large amount of money in a couple of years, but he's fine. Now he wants to win, but he's fine.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me. I would put it at about a 5, and I'm kind of surprised I'm saying that. But if the 49ers lose, it's not going to be all him, right? Because it's not like Mahomes on the other side where so much is expected of him.
I guarantee if he throws 3 interceptions, it's going to be on
true.
all him,
and
especially with
he
all the guys around him.
Not 1, not 2, but 3.
Interesting, LeBron.
You said it a bunch of times, so clearly.
But if the Niners, here's where I'm coming from. If the Niners win, there's going to be so much attention paid to everybody else, and then there's going to be Brock Purdy.
I don't know. I don't think that's how the national media will spin it.
It's going to be, I'm telling you right, Brock Purdy to me is the most fascinating aspect of this Super Bowl because I don't know. We know if Mahomes and Kelsey and Reed win, we know what the storyline is. We know what path we're going down, right? For conversations on Monday. If the 49ers win and Purdy doesn't, throw for 350 and 3 tutties, if he's just very efficient, what's the conversation?
Good job.
Right. It's fascinating to me.
CMC.
So let's look at the past national championship. J.J. McCarthy literally just had to show up.
Right.
Didn't really even do anything.
And we didn't talk about it. We talked about that defense. We talked about Penix.
And the run game.
The conversation was about Penix.
About what he did not do correctly.
Correct.
Interesting. So I guess.
So maybe there it is. There's the storyline.
There we go.
You just kind of outlined it.
Once they win 24-13.
30-17, absolutely.
No, 24-13.
No, Marsh, that's a great point about Michigan and J.J. McCarthy. All right, we've got a lot to do in this final segment. We've got Fade or Follow. We've got Bet the Board. We've got Criticisms Compliments. We got 3 stars. It's all coming up next on 101 ESPN.
The Blues play on ESPN. The wait is over. Tomorrow, Blues and Sabres. Pre-game at 11, puck drop at noon.
Shoots, he scores!
This is your exclusive home for Blues hockey. 101 ESPN.
Look, everybody's had this. If you're a homeowner, you have this project and you want to redo your kitchen or your bathroom or your basement, and you get all these contractors line up, and you're thinking you're saving all this money, or maybe you go to one of the big box stores and think, man, I'm doing this right because I'm saving money. You're not saving money because you don't know about all the hidden costs. You don't know how long things are going to take. Things are going to be delayed because that same big box company's going to contract all this work. Just do it right one time with Mosby. Mosby Building Arts. They're fantastic. We've worked with them at our house. I have seen what they do up close. And you know what? Here's some actual testimonials from other customers, too. Don't just take my word on it. There was an elderly gentleman that had called. He had hired a company to put on a new roof on his house. This company had knocked on his door as they were working in the neighborhood. A few years later, roof starts to leak, so he called the wrong company back to uphold the warranty. They told him it came with the roof. Phone number no longer worked. Company had gone out of business. Warranty no good, and the company won't be around to honor it. Not at Mosby. Some other things here. That it didn't go well. Should have hired Mosby in the first place. It was thrilling that Mosby you actually answered your phone. You have no idea how many companies just never call back. Another person, my project went so horribly, I'm in the middle of suing my contractor. These are the people that finally went to Mosby and realized they worked with actual professionals. Mosby does it right the first time. You're working with the best. They have their own contractors ready. It's not even a contract. They have Mosby employees, electricians, plumbers, everybody under Mosby, same building, working on similar projects. Again, they do it right. It's Mosby Building Arts.
Wall-to-wall Blues coverage is right here. 101 ESPN is live from the Centene Community Ice Center. Brought to you by Bud Light and E&B Granite. Bernie Federko's only choice for granite countertops, cabinets, and flooring. It's time for FanDuel Fade or Follow on the Fast Lane.
Brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more.
Everyone follow us.
I'll fade. Money, 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 money.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Time for Fade or Follow. This is when one contestant has an opportunity to win $50 of FanDuel's money, as long as they correctly fade or follow us. And Wild Bill's back. Wild Bill's this week number 3 for you? 4.
Yeah, well, this is week 4, so I'm up 150.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. You're obviously doing it right. So Marsh did not agree to this. This is a Carey and I pick, but we like the Chiefs Super Bowl Sunday. I'll get you the current point spread. 2.5. We like the Chiefs plus 2.5. Would you like to fade us or follow us on Super Bowl 58?
I'm going to fade that, actually.
Nice. Okay, so you're a Marsh fan.
yeah, we can say that.
So Marsh is your favorite human being in the world, and you decided to fade Carey and I. Okay, that's fine. We understand that. We like Marsh too. So no problem. So you have the 49ers minus 2.5 then. Sound good?
Yep. Sounds good.
All right.
Excited for it. It's gonna be a
Wild
great
Bill.
game.
Yeah, definitely. Enjoy it. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the Blues tomorrow. Have a great weekend, and we hope to see you back here next Sunday or next Friday.
All right. Yep,
All
sounds good. You two guys. We'll see you.
We will not be here on Sunday. We will not.
You doing a pregame show?
Nope, no sir. All right, we're moving quickly here. So that was Fade or Follow. Time to bet the board. Marsh, you got updated standings?
I do not have them on hand right now.
Carey, you won yesterday?
last night.
I won last night as well. I had the Vegas Golden Knights. Marsh?
I don't even remember what I picked.
Oh, Marsh.
Come on.
Are you even trying for the person that you're
Of course
with?
I'm trying, Anthony. You have no room to talk.
Fair. That was incredibly fair, Marsh. I know that Jamie lost because he had the Canucks against the Bruins.
Yeah, I don't know why he keeps picking them.
And they got shut out. You picked somebody. You had something. You had somebody with the shots or something.
Oh yeah, I had Sam Bennett's shots.
Sam Bennett shots. Do you remember how
shots
many?
on goal was over 2.5.
Over
let me
2.5.
Go ahead and check.
Here, I'll check
the game log real quick.
He had 1 shot on goal.
And there you go.
All right. Okay. So I think I've evened my record. I think it's 3-3. I think you're 3-3.
I'm 4-2. Should be.
You're 4-2 now.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
All right, you're rolling. Go ahead, Carey.
Yeah, I'm in last place. I only have won once.
You're up first.
The pick I want, I can't get because I can't find it for Saturday. But I'm going to take. This is a tough one. I'm going to take the New Orleans Pelicans minus 3.5 versus the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay, there you go. I'm going to take the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs plus the 2.5. Super Bowl Sunday. I'm backing my team.
Good for you.
Thank you. Who should we give Jamie?
Oh.
The Ducks tonight against the Oilers, or maybe the Blackhawks against the Rangers? He loves underdogs.
Is there a player that he likes? Maybe we give him a player prop for the Super Bowl.
I don't. He likes. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that he hates Mahomes. So how about we go under his passing yards?
Yeah,
there you go.
Under Mahomes passing yards.
262.5.
Or maybe like Mahomes interception prop.
Oh yeah,
Let's do that. Mahomes interception prop.
Mahomes interception.
So Mahomes to throw at least 1 interception.
Oh man.
Okay.
I like it. I like it a lot. So I was looking up some stats here, and everybody loves the coin toss, correct? The San Francisco 49ers, they have 5 Super Bowl wins. They also have won the coin toss 5 times.
Wow.
I believe that they will win the coin toss on Sunday.
Marsh,
Those 5 wins come when they won the toss, or they played in other Super Bowls? You don't know.
It just says no. I don't know that.
His numbers only go back a certain amount. Marsh, I used to be Tommy Trends. You have taken that over. You have taken that mantle over because you are finding some big time nuggets, dude.
I like I like to keep it fun, you know?
All right, what else you got for us? You want to do criticism, compliments? You want to do
Let's just
3 stars?
Let's do our 3 stars of the day. We'll start off with our 3rd star of the day, and I got to give it to Chiefs fans for putting up with Anthony Stalter in this fandom.
What do you mean?
Congratulations to the Chiefs and their fans for enduring the past 2 weeks. So,
sure they are.
First of all, I went and got COVID last week, so I missed most of last week, okay?
You went and got it.
Yeah.
Like, he said that like you just got it at the store.
I don't know
Kinda
that's
felt
how
it.
that happens.
Yeah. So I wasn't here most of last
We're glad
week.
you are actually here with us. You had
Thank you.
107 temperature on one of those days.
Yeah, I talked to some demons, I think, on Saturday at 107. Yep.
Man. They said, take the Chiefs.
The funny thing is,
Chiefs spread.
the funny thing is, everybody I said that to, they were like, why didn't you go to the doctor?
That's what
Why
I
didn't you go
asked.
to the emergency room? I don't know.
That's protocol once you get over 106.
Well, listen, I was in no condition to make that decision.
Anthony did not want to go into the blue tent.
No, I didn't. I wanted to play hurt.
Our 2nd star of the day goes to the Snake Pit because actually last night I was calling a Maryville hockey game and a lot of them decided to join into the broadcast.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. It was awesome. They were very lively in the YouTube broadcast.
Dude, I love that. That's great.
I mean, they were like, talking hockey and just having a good time. I'm sure all the parents that were tuned in were like, who the hell are these people? But I loved it. It was awesome.
What loyalty. That's fantastic. Yeah,
So,
great job, Snake Pit.
Shout out to the Snake Pit. And our 1st star of the day goes to Nathan and Drew, who joined the show today. A big thanks to them for what they've done for our country.
Absolutely. Yeah, former Marine. Nathan Laup, who is the goaltender tonight for the Alpha Squad for the Warrior Classic game, the All-Star game. And if you're down at Centene, or if you're coming down this way, 7 o'clock is the All-Star game, and it figures to be an absolutely sensational night. Everybody, we appreciate you guys laughing with us, or at least most of you. I think most of you laugh with us.
We have a good time.
Some of you take us too seriously, I think, and you get angry. But we love you anyways, you know? You're all part of us. And we're a part of you.
They've touched me.
And I'm pretty sure I've touched them, too.
Oh, my God.
That's the best line in that movie. All right, that'll do it for us here down at Centene. Thank you to Bradford Bruns for running things back at the studio today. For Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy the Blues tomorrow. Don't forget that we got the game for you. We also have the Super Bowl 58 for you right here on 101 at ESPN. Again, everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. See ya.
We've got your chance to win a pair of passes to the 2024 State Farm Missouri Valley Conference men's basketball tournament, hitting the court at Enterprise Center March 7th through March 10th. March begins here with the Arch Madness of the annual MVC tournament, celebrating 30 years at Enterprise Center. All session and single session tickets are